I feel like an action hero in a console game.
And test your canine skills on a kennel load of mini-games. Run.
Tuesday, Detroit, become human.
The call is coming from in the house. In the house? No way! How was that? I never used that, but...
Wednesday, dead dating.
Let me think about it. And I have a specific type, a guy who takes care of his family, a guy who is mature and knowledgeable, a guy with a tough personality. It should be mature and knowledgeable because I'm trying to go for that sexy daddy.
Thursday, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney.
Toilet? My perfect little dolly doesn't poop? You heard the defendant, Miss Faye. Better luck next time. Are you fucking...
Friday, Cyberpunk 2077.
Let's go. Let's go. Come on, Vominos. Come on, Panem. Let's go. Where are we going? Rocky Ridge.
We'll need backup. We have one brief.
Monday, Dog's Life.
Sniff my butt. This dog is bad.
Take control of your favorite breeds.
Wow, I feel like an action hero in a console game.
And test your canine skills on a kennel load of mini-games. Run.
Tuesday, Detroit, become human.
The call is coming from in the house. In the house? No way! How was that? I never used that, but...
Wednesday, dead dating.
Let me think about it. And I have a specific type, a guy who takes care of his family, a guy who is mature and knowledgeable, a guy with a tough personality. It should be mature and knowledgeable because I'm trying to go for that sexy daddy.
Thursday, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney.
Toilet? My perfect little dolly doesn't poop? You heard the defendant, Miss Faye. Better luck next time. Are you fucking...
Friday, Cyberpunk 2077.
Let's go. Let's go. Come on, Vominos. Come on, Panem. Let's go. Where are we going? Rocky Ridge.
We'll need backup. We have one brief.
Monday, Dog's Life.
Sniff my butt. This dog is bad.
Take control of your favorite breeds.
Wow, I feel like an action hero in a console game.
All right, let's get started. How's it going, everybody? Hey, Stella, how's it going? And hello to anyone else who might be out there watching, lurking. Turns out I forgot to bring my chat up, so give me a moment while I do that. I think the audio for the game is up at least. Yeah, that's good. Go and bring my chat up real quick. There we go. And there we are. Okay. Ready to go. So yeah, I got my foot pedal working. I got in today. So let's try it out. Hands free. And now it should be my internal voice. And then there we go. Outside of the inner voice. Now we can go to the radio voice. Hello, hello. And then back to inner voice. All like that without my hands. There we go. Exciting, exciting. And I can just keep both hands on the controller, which might be more comfortable, I'm not sure. Or I could just use a mouse. There's my bottomless attorney. Hell yeah, dude. I got no bottom. I got a flat ass, dude. Am I gonna become like bottomless Domm? That you could probably look at that multiple ways, you know, sexual and non-sexual, right? All right, let's see. I guess it's really only the whole part that makes it sexual, right? The bottomless whole thing. All right, let's just jump into this, man. Oh, I guess I should go over what happened last time. So this has been a pretty crazy trial. So let's see. I'll try to broad stroke it as much as I can. So with this trial, we started the whole thing out where Maya has wanted Phoenix to visit a exhibit that is all featuring her hometown because she's a spirit medium, and so there's this exhibit about all their artifacts and everything that's supposed to kind of be celebrating her village and sort of like their channeling technique and stuff. So we went. Hold on. Aaron added, I guess it's only the hole that makes it sexual. There you go, nice one, dude. See, I love that one because I wouldn't have thought of that like out of context, but it's hilarious out of context. Thank you, Aaron. Anyway, so yeah, Maya wanted us to go to this exhibit. So we went to the exhibit and we found that Adrian Andrews was there. Turns out that something was actually stolen from the exhibit. It was actually the urn from a previous case. So but the whole thing is that the urn was stolen by this like famous thief called Mask Damask. And so throughout the trial, we ended up finding out at least, okay, so there's important things I need to set up with this broad strokes. I can't miss certain details. So there was this guy named Luke Atme. He was an ace detective, so-called, that was on the case, and he's been following Mask Damask for some time now. And he was the only person there, and he went through like great circumstances to make sure that he was the only person there to catch Mask Damask. And it turns out he got like knocked out and stuff. So that's pretty crazy. Hello everyone. Hello is out of stock. Oh, that's weird. You should just have to refresh Crispy and it shouldn't come back in stock. Sorry about that. That's just a Twitch bug because it shouldn't have a stock. So, but I appreciate you using channel points anyways to say hello. How are you doing, Crispy? Good to see you. So yeah, anyways, Luke Atme, he was the only person there. He got knocked out apparently by Mask Damask, but through the trial and questioning him and cross-examining him, we actually got Luke Atme to admit that he was Mask Damask and that he is such an ace detective that he had to create an ace thief in order to like equal himself. So he had to be his own worst enemy sort of thing, which is kind of interesting. But there's more to that story because this entire time the defendant, our client, has been Ron Delight, and Ron Delight believes he is Mask Damask. He like has all of like the equipment Mask Damask has. He has the same outfit he has, but he doesn't remember anything that happened that night when the theft happened, right? So how we got our client sort of off of the guilty verdict was we ended up placing him at a different location. We said that we had evidence that he was actually at a location 30 minutes away from where the robbery happened, and there would have been no way that he could have been there and stolen the urn at the same time because they're like 30 minutes away from each other by car. You know what I mean? So that's how we got him not guilty, but we then also got Luke Atme to admit that he was Mask Damask, and then shortly after that we found out that the place that we placed Ron at, there was apparently a fucking murder that night. And so now Ron is now, because we placed him there in order to get him not guilty on the theft, now we've placed him as the fucking prime suspect for a murder. So it's been a huge twist in that way, which is pretty cool. But here's some interesting details in there. So part of what got us to get Luke Atme to admit that he was Mask Damask was Desiree, Ron's wife or fiance or something like that, brought in a bag from Luke Atme's apartment, and the bag had the urn in it that was also mysteriously put back together correctly because it used to be broken and put back together incorrectly. So that was interesting. The fact that Desiree brought that was interesting and kind of just like a surprising thing. But I don't think it was as surprising as we think. This is my theories. I'm getting into my theories now. So sort of what I think has happened, so we're getting away from what we know and going into what Domm thinks, is what I think happened is Luke Atme decided to become Mask Damask and admitted that he was Mask Damask because he is actually the murderer of this guy that Ron is now being a suspect for. And he wanted to take the lesser of the two verdicts or whatever, the punishment. So he took theft over murder. you know, since Ron is now being placed as the murderer. And so I think that's why he ended up admitting to that, because the reason why I say that is because of one specific detail. Well, two specific details, I should say. But one of the more like intricate details is the fact that so Luke Atme was supposedly knocked unconscious, right, by this sword by Master Moss, because we found the sword, it was bent because it hit something. And while we were looking at the sword, Maya hits Phoenix over the head, and it bends the sword even more, and Phoenix is like, ow, why'd you do that, or whatever, and sort of like giving us the idea that someone got hit over the head with it, right? And then we talked to Luke Atme, and Luke says, yeah, I got hit over the head with the sword, but I didn't lose my memory because I'm not like, you know, like my brain is too strong. And when Phoenix lost his memory in the last game because he got hit over the head, you know, Luke Atme was like, well, because you're not as smart as I am, right? But I think that was a hint, because Luke didn't get knocked unconscious if he was Master Mosk, right? So how did the sword get bent? You know, I was thinking about that last night. And, well, not last night, but the night after we did the last trial. And I think because Ron doesn't remember what happened that night, I think Ron was Master Mosk. I think he was stealing this stuff, and he's right. He's not delusional, because everybody thinks he's just a fanboy of Master Mosk, especially Desiree. But what I think happened was he did go to steal the urn. Desiree knew that he was going to steal the urn, and she actually is the one that hit Ron over the head with the sword and knocked Ron out. You know what I mean? And so that's why Ron doesn't remember that night, because it seems to be a thing in this game where if you get hit over the head, you forget, right? And so I think that Ron not having a memory of what happened that night makes sense that he would have been the one that got hit over the head. And who would have hit him over the head? I think it could have been Desiree, because she's probably the only one that would know that Ron wasn't at home, yada yada, you know what I mean? And plus, she might be, because it's mentioned several times by Desiree that she can drive faster than people can drive, you know, like in their cars, because she has a motorcycle. So she talks about how she flies really fast on her motorcycle, how she can get there in 20 minutes rather than 30 minutes, and that sort of thing. That's been brought up a few times, and it's been like a very minor detail, but I think it actually is a big part of how this case is going to come together. So these are just my theories. So where we're at right now is we've investigated the security room and everything at the security place, because the place where the murder happened, it was actually the head of a security agency called KB Security, and Ron used to work for KB Security. But what we found out while we were there investigating was that the CEO of KB Security was actually working with Master Mosk, and he was actually blackmailing Master Mosk to get him to steal things so that he, as the head of security, could take those items and then sell them as like a fence. Hey, what's up, Vince? How's it going, man? I'm just going over some theories I have and sort of what happened last week. So I'm almost done. And so it's to me that kind of lends to the whole Ron being the Master Mosk guy, partially because we found one of those blackmail letters. And we also then found like a list of the items that he's stolen in the KB security room, and so we have a few pieces of evidence that seem to hint at that. As far as any other big piece of evidence, I think that's pretty much all we got right now. I think we're about to go into a trial, but I'm not sure who's actually going to be on the stand yet. Did we find that out? I don't know. So this might be a surprise witness, or it could be Larry. Larry Butts was supposed to be on duty that night, but he got distracted. And so he wasn't paying attention. And so it's partially his fault that the murder even happened, I guess. Sort of. You know what I mean? So anyways, yeah. That is, hopefully that was coherent, but that's what happened last week. And so now we're going in. We should be starting the trial this week. And we'll see who our witness is. I'm not exactly sure who it could be. All I could think is that it would be Larry, because he was the security person. But yeah, and also there was a, not a real cameo, but sort of like a mention of Wendy Oldbag. She is apparently the head of security at KB Security, so she's actually like the superior of Larry Butts now, which is kind of funny. And she still has the ray gun, apparently. So she might make an appearance. Who knows? Maybe she's the witness, but I kind of doubt it, because I think she was gone when it happened. So there you go. Anyway, sorry, I missed Stella's message earlier. Ace Attorney has become almost taken over as my favorite game of all time. Has long been Night in the Woods, both so good. Oh yeah, Night in the Woods is fucking amazing. Absolutely. That's why I was so excited when I saw Squash Lips playing it. It was just like, oh my god, I love this game. I'm so glad she's playing it. Apparently she said she had tried to play it once and she didn't get as into it, but she's hoping this time she'll get more into it, and I really hope she does too, because I think it's a phenomenal game. Pretty much where I started the whole voice acting thing. I mean, it's not totally true, because Katana Zero was truly the start of it, but that's when I really started thinking about, like, you know what, let me try to voice act this game. You know what I mean? So... And then, yeah, then there was Crispy's hello. Dad joke, I just crushed my Kia. Now I have no Kia. I'll let myself out. Hey, no, you don't have to let yourself out. How about this? There you go. I like it. I think it's fun. I think it was a good joke. Aside from being a little tired, I'm doing good. My chronic pain woke me up, but I can't do anything about that, so no point in complaining. Gotcha. Well, I'm sorry that you have some chronic pain, Crispy. That's unfortunate, but I guess I'm glad that you're doing good. Hopefully the rest of your day will be wonderful. Hopefully I can help you, forget about the pain a little bit, maybe, as I do my silly voices and stuff. And thank you for banning Rogue Girl from the channel. I assume that may have been Aaron, cleaning up some bots in the background. So thanks, man. All right, so without further ado, let's get started. Oh, and for those of you who just joined since the beginning, I have a new Stream Deck foot pedal that I can do my internal voice with without the use of my hands. So there you go. That'll be cool. I hope that's working. I mean, it sounds like it's working. It should definitely be working. I tested it earlier. Lemon pledge. Oh, yeah, just clean it up with your lemon pledge. I clean. All right, October 14th, 9:41 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 4. God damn, this man is magic. Look, Mon, no hands. I can change my voice with no handlebars. Oh, cool. Did you get a new device? Yeah. You guys want to see it really quick before we get too into it? So Stream Deck, like a couple months ago, came out with this. It's basically a fancy version of the thing that I had 3D printed, but it has like Stream Deck integration, which makes it like way better than what I made. So it's super nice, super handy, and I'm gonna try to see if I can't switch it between both my computers because it's such a nice device. Because I was using it to edit videos earlier, and I made the middle one pause and play, and then like cut video, and then like select video. It was really nice. But yeah, now I have it to where middle one is put on voice thing, left one is inner voice, and the right one is my radio voice. So those are the two voices I use the most in Phoenix, right? So it's awesome. Yeah, isn't it cool? It's super fancy. Yeah, it's got 3 buttons. So you can see the 2 small ones on the side and the big one in the middle. One thing that was cool about it is it came with like 5 different variants of spring tensions. So you see this is spring set 1400. So I can make each of the buttons as resistant as I want using these different springs. So all I have to do is take the back plate off, and then I just replace some springs and then put the back plate back on, and then there you go, different tension, which is really cool. So right now I have all 3 of them set to a different tension, so hopefully I can sort of feel it out if I ever get confused which one is which. One thing it also came with, honorable mention, is these middle pedal stoppers, which instead of springs, you put these guys in, and then the middle pedal can't be pressed, so it becomes a footrest. So then it's just a 2-switch pedal, which is kind of cool. I always want the 3 buttons because I have too much shit to only use 2 buttons for. But, yeah. So it's pretty cool. And it's got a little light here, which is fun. But, yeah. So that's what I'm using now to change my voice, so I don't have to have my hand on my Stream Deck constantly when I'm playing Phoenix Wright. There we go. Should be set back up. Do a little test. There we go. See? And we got it. Another thing that's kind of cool about it is I have this little overlay on my Stream Deck computer. So on my desktop, I have this little, like, it's basically like an image of the foot pedal itself, like a little PNG, and it has 3 squares, and it lets me know when the buttons are activated and what button does what with a little image, which is pretty cool. Helps me know, if my inner voice is on or not, because I can see that it's activated. So then I switch to radio, I can see that it switches to whichever voice. It's really nice. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, anyways, let's get started.
Hey, Nick!
What is it this time?
You won't believe how many people are here for the trial.
Well, it is a murder case.
What are you talking about? They're here for the trial next door.
Next door?
Why don't you know this, Nick? They're having Detective Admy's trial today.
Detective Admy?
They say they're going to try him as Master Mask.
Already? That was fast.
Boy, I'd love to see Master Mask's trial.
I know. By the way, where's Pearls? Wait, who said I know? I assume that was Luke Admy, but like, what?
Oh, she went back home. She said she can't neglect her training anymore.
Oh, what? I know you don't like me. Pearls has really gotten into her training lately, huh?
Yeah, ever since that incident last year.
Please, don't ignore me. Oh, it was Ron. My bad. Not Luke at me. It was Ron the whole time. He's just so soft-spoken. It's easy to ignore him, dude.
Oh, Mr. Delight. Good morning.
No one likes me. No one would notice me even if I killed someone.
Come on, don't be silly. Wait a sec.
Don't you mean you're the murderer? No. I'm just a poor thief. No, wait. That's not right. A thief can't really be poor. Oh, there we go. Gotta use my pedal. Now, let's see. According to Mr. Delight, from his second crime on, he was following a bunch of set plans. Plans that someone had been sending to him to help him commit the heist. And who better to send the plans than the chief of security, or the CEO, I should say, of the security company who's probably running security for the places he's stealing from, right? Right? We got some evidence last week that might hint at that.
Do you really think there's a connection between the thief and the murderer, Nick?
It's possible. But today's trial is a race against the clock.
Huh? How come? Let's just take our time like always.
I'm afraid that's not an option. The reason why it's not an option is because Luke at me is actually the murderer. Oh, I forgot to mention earlier in my like look back at last week that we did see, like when we were talking to Ron about his memory of entering the room where the murder was, because he was talking about how he was there, I guess, to go see that guy, which kind of throws a wrench into my theory. I understand that, but who knows with how crazy this game is. Some of my theories could still be correct. But anyways, when it showed that door opening, it was like there was like a lightning flash almost where we saw a silhouette that was clearly Luke at me. And so he basically is saying that he saw Luke at me and then got knocked unconscious or whatever. So maybe that's when he got knocked unconscious. I don't know. But I just feel like it's all going to come back around to he actually got knocked unconscious with a blade or whatever. Yeah, my theory. I told you earlier. But yeah, anyways. October 14th, 10 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 6. Oh, and I found out I was saying Godot's name wrong the entire time. I kept calling him Godot, but it's actually silent T. It's Godot, so I'll be calling him Godot from now on. So, my apologies. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Ron Delight. The defense is ready, Your Honor. You're ready? Preparation is the last refuge of the weak. What? Preparation is? Okay, settle down, everyone. Let's begin with your opening statement, Mr. Godot. Yeah, he's got the judge in the palm of his hand. Yet again. Ron Delight is simply too young to be sent to war. That's all. I'm afraid I have no idea what that means, Mr. Godot. Ha! Then you need to get out more, Your Honor. Life is war, but that is exactly why you must be more precise in your wording. That's all my statement means. You understand now, right? Yes, well then, let me briefly summarize the details of this case. Wow, the judge is taking charge like he knows what's going on for a change. The victim is Kane Bullard, CEO of KB Security. Oh, I just realized that KB stands for Kane Bullard. Oh, he named it after himself. Great. I just realized that. His body was found in a safe at approximately 9 a.m. on the morning of the 13th. However, the time of death was estimated at 1 a.m. of the previous day. And that's when our little lost kitten dropped the ball. That little lost kitten is, of course, the defendant. So is Ron going to be the one that is going to be on the stand? I wonder. Very well then, Mr. Godot. Please call your first witness. I never drink more than 17 cups of coffee during any given trial. Hold on one sec. But the first one is always the best. Mr. Godot, your witness. Okay, then. Let's hear what the defendant, Mr. Ron Delight, has to say for himself. The defendant? Well, Mr. Wright, does the defense have any objections? It may be a bit of a disadvantage having the defendant testify, but...
I remember when Mia was defending me. She allowed me to testify so she could do cross-examination. She put a lot of trust in me back then.
Nice, we got a call back to that last episode, huh? We have no objections, Your Honor. The defense will allow Mr. Delight to testify. Ha! You've got guts, Trait. All right, then. Mr. Ron Delight, please take the stand. I gotta say, Ron is a cutie, isn't he? He looks so precious. You did it, didn't you?
Yes. What? No. That's not true.
For a moment there, I thought we'd set the record for the shortest trial ever.
Well, Mr. Delight already looks plenty guilty with that face he's making.
And once he opens his big mouth, he'll probably put the last nail in his own coffin. Ha! Very well. Now then, can you tell me something? If you didn't kill Bullard, why did you go to KB Security?
Well, I... That's kind of hard to say. Boy, I wish I could go home.
Now then, let's hear some testimony about what happened.
My visit to KB Security. That evening, around 1 a.m., I went to see Mr. Bullard in his office at KB Security. The blackmail letter I got, it ordered me to go there. I've been working for KB Security until a year ago, so I knew where his office was.
1 a.m., the exact time the murder took place. The weak get washed away by the tides of fate. The strong drink it up. Ha! It's bitter today, too, just like my destiny.
You never know that from the way he's chugging it down.
Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, if you please. Cross-examination. Don't fuck me now, Ron.
That evening, around 1 a.m., I went to see Mr. Bullard in his office at KB Security.
Press!
1 a.m., huh? You're absolutely sure about that? Yes. That's what my watch said when I was entering the CEO's office. No. Actually, I'm not really sure. My watch was slow and my internal clock was also a bit...
1 a.m. That's the exact time the victim, Mr. Bullard, was murdered, correct? It's too late for a coffee date, that's for sure.
The blackmail letter I got, it ordered me to go there. It ordered you there? It was the first time I'd gotten a blackmail letter that ordered me to go somewhere.
Does that mean you've gotten other blackmail letters then?
Oh, of course. They'd say things like, steal this or take that.
Hello!
Why don't you save some of those for later, Mr. Delight? Hey, there you go. Aaron with hello. Is it messing up on you again, Aaron? I'm just like curious because last time you used hello is because it was messing up on you. So hopefully it hasn't screwed with you or anything. Hopefully you can still type in chat. Ron is an interesting character, consistently contradicting himself. Yeah, I know it, right? He makes it so hard just because he's constantly saying one thing or another. iPad app playing up, I am here now. Okay, right on. That sounds good. Yes, I am. Hell yeah, dude.
Please don't say anymore. Now, what should do I do? What should do I do?
What? It says it right there. What should do I do? Alright. Typo in the game. It's alright. I'll allow it. Press start. So what did the blackmail letter in question say? It said to bring 50,000.
Money, eh? A perfect motive for committing murder.
No, but wait! Wait! I never intended to pay that money anyway.
No? Is that right?
After all, he had nothing to hold over my head. I had nothing to be afraid of.
An important point indeed. Witness, let's have that added to your testimony.
Yes, sir. Ha!
A muddy mud skipper in outer space has a better chance of surviving than I do.
Did they write dead dating? Right, dude? Oh, that's funny. You know, I've always thought about it, like, since there's probably not that much content out there with dead dating, I've wondered if the creator Ryu will ever, like, find my, like, YouTube videos, if he ever searches his own game name or whatever, and then watch it, then hear us like, oh my god, what the fuck is this language? You know what I mean? And just hear us just tearing it apart. I hope that, you know, they would see that we're just having fun and we actually enjoy the game, right? That's my sincerest hope. Because, yeah, Ryu, if you ever see this, which you probably won't, we like your game, dude. The bad English is actually funny. That is part of why we enjoy it. I should have said that in the game. Anyways, yeah, I had that thought today. I just thought it was kind of funny. The blackmail thread didn't scare me. It wasn't going to cause me any trouble or anything. How does that work? Just what were you being blackmailed about anyway? The blackmail letter said, if you don't want your identity revealed, correct? I'm sure it was referring to the whole mask to mosque thing. But I wasn't worried. Mr. Bullet didn't have anything on me. He didn't? Anyway, I don't care what anyone says about me. Just as long as Desi believes in me.
So that's why Mr. Light didn't believe he was Master Mask.
That's why I knew they were just hollow threats. So if he doesn't have anything on you, how could he possibly threaten you then? Why were you being, how could he be, why is it blackmail, I guess, if he doesn't have anything on you, right? Isn't that kind of weird? I'd been working for KB Security until a year ago, so I knew where his office was. You used to be a security chief for KB Security, right? Yes, that's right. The security chief? You? And yet, a year ago, you were fired without notice. Revenge for an old grudge? A perfect motive for murder, wouldn't you say?
This isn't good. Maybe I should change the subject.
Life after being fired, why he was fired, don't say anything. I think why he was fired. I mean, sometimes the game kind of throws you and it's actually the one that seems like it's not really relevant that matters the most. But I feel like I want to know why he was fired. I just want to know. They're just typing that. How can he be blackmail? How can it be blackmail, right? Yeah, if they don't have it, they have to have something over here for it to be blackmail. I get that it could be attempted blackmail, but the idea here is that he was being blackmailed and he went ahead and did the robberies, you know, because he was being blackmailed. But if you weren't being if they didn't have anything on you, why'd you do the robberies, bro? I mean, there's a lot of layers here. It's hard to pull back all of them. You know what I mean? Mr. Delight, please tell us why you were fired from your job. Well... The world is filled with those who have said, I wish I had never asked that. Okay, then I take it back. Defendant, please answer the question. Well, I needed money. You needed money? Well, you see, Dizzy loves to spend it. It's kind of her hobby. Not exactly the best hobby in the world, huh, Nick? You're one to say that, Maya. You want Nick to buy you everything in the world. My salary wasn't nearly enough. So, I stole data from the company. Come again? KB Security has a lot of security info on all sorts of companies. And since I was a security team chief... You stole some data and sold it. Mr. Bullard found out, and I was fired immediately. What?
I wish I'd never asked that.
I was somehow able to keep it secret and made it seem like I had quit on my own. What is it, Nick? You don't look so good. Someone who brings harm to their company is fired as punishment. You do well to remember that. He sure told you. So you admit that you stole data from your company. Is that correct? Yes, I'm sorry. How is Godot able to wear that mask in court? I object. Because it's anime, Cody. What, are you not familiar with anime, bro? What's up, Cody? Thanks for coming to hang out, dude. Hopefully you're having a good one. What are you up to, my man?
This is a very important fact. Please add it to your testimony.
Oh man, this whole thing just took a big turn for the worse. Crashed and blew up. It's gonna take the jaws of life to rip this case from the clutches of disaster.
Nice little metaphor there. Yo, what up?
He fired me for selling company secrets, but Desi doesn't know about that.
She probably does now, isn't she, in the courtroom?
Why would you do something like that? Well, for Desi's hobby. What else? Wasting money, huh? It's not a waste. So, Mr. Light doesn't know that her husband was fired, does she? So it would seem. I'm not sure what to think about couples who keep secrets like that from each other.
I can't believe it. This case has gotten even Maya to think seriously about couples.
Please try to stay focused, Mr. Wright.
There wasn't much in his testimony, was there? Sounds like he's avoiding something, at least. That's what it sounds like to me. Uh-oh. I got a bad feeling about this. We better be careful. But if we don't find a way to make him spill the beans, we'll never get closer to the truth. Yeah. Alright, so we need to ask him the other question. Was it the first one? No, that was if we wanted to press harder or not, right? Let's go ahead and go through it again, though. And we'll see if you choose a different one, what happens, right? Reminds me of that Umbrella song every time. Yeah. She gets that all the time. I feel like it's almost like once a week, I feels like Stella gets the Ella kind of deal. Stella is our umbrella. All right, let's press. 1 a.m., huh? You're absolutely sure about that? Yes, that's what my watch said when I was entering the CEO's office. No. Actually, I'm not really sure. My watch was slow, and my internal clock was also a bit.
1 a.m. Well, that's an exact time of the victim. Mr. Bullard was murdered, correct? It's too late for a coffee date, that's for sure. Okay, I guess it wasn't that one. There was one of these I got to press harder, right? It ordered you there? It was the first time I'd gotten a blackmail letter that ordered me to go somewhere. Does that mean you've gotten other blackmail letters then?
Oh, of course. They say things like, steal this or take that. Why don't you save those for later, Mr. Delight?
Please don't say anymore.
The blackmail threat didn't scare me. It wasn't going to cause me a trouble or anything. Just what were you being blackmailed about anyway?
The blackmail letter said, if you don't want your identity revealed, correct?
I'm sure it was referring to the whole mask to mask thing.
Tisk tisk. I'm afraid that reason isn't going to hold up anymore.
What do you mean?
The victim had no proof the defendant was masked to mask. But you were the one who stole company secrets only 1 year earlier.
But that was all over with once I was fired. But it is true that the fact I stole secrets was kept under wraps. No, what's funny is my name Estrella de Miel is a bachata song in Spanish. Oh, nice. There you go. Sure, I said that wrong. What does a bachata mean? Yeah. Sorry, deliverer. I can't look up. Oh, it's all good. It's all good, man. Don't worry about it. Even so, there was no reason for me to pay up now, a whole year later.
Is that really true?
What is it, Nick? The fact that Ron was stealing company data. I wonder if he would have had a problem if that ever became public knowledge. Oh, especially, yes he would. I think yes he would because of Desi, right? He doesn't want Desi to know. So yes he would. Mr. Delight, I believe you would have been in considerable trouble if your identity as a company data thief was made public.
Mr. Wright, what are you trying to do by bullying your own client? Ha! Men are like colonies of bacteria. The more heat you apply, the faster they grow.
That's exactly right.
Well then, feel free to keep up the heat, my little lawyer amigo.
Little lawyer amigo? Yes. Now come on. Provide some evidence to back up your assertion. Oh shit, we better save here, dude. I didn't realize I was gonna have to bring up some fucking evidence here. Bachata is a style of music like, oh, okay, gotcha. It's just a genre, right? That's what you mean. At least your name has a cool meaning. Cody means cushion in some languages. Well, that's not her actual name. That's her street name, right? Alright, let's see. Here we go. Why would Mr. Delight want to keep his data stealing secret from going gossip or going public? Because of Desi, right? Because Desi doesn't like bad guys. She hates bad people. She hates thieves. I don't know that we have a piece of evidence for that. I might just have to show Desi. It's testimony. I think I'm just going to have to show Desiree. Yeah, so let's go profiles because of Desiree. Because when you say public, that means that Desiree knows. And that's what he doesn't want. Present. Mr. Delight, what you said just now doesn't match what you told me yesterday. Huh? What doesn't? I think you must have been scared. Very scared. Of having a certain person find out your secret. Gulp. A certain person? Miss Desiree Delight, the defendant's wife. But I... Listen to me. My Desi, she's... Looks like if I just sit back and relax, the fun will end before it truly begins.
Yeah, good dot.
Yes, we know. It was all your wife's fault. What do you mean? Mr. Delight stole company data to pay for his wife's spending habit, for which he was fired. Unable to face his own wife, someone used his dirty little secret to blackmail him. And that is how this murder came about. Oh.
No! Everything is falling neatly into place for him.
Don't talk about my Desi like that. Or you'll be sorry. Damn, dude. Those are fighting words. Well, it seems that we've learned a great deal of things here so far. What do you think, Nick? I didn't think it was possible to get so thoroughly whipped in just 20 minutes. Clearly there was sufficient motive for murder. He stole data for his wife, and he killed to protect his secret. A family man who cared just a little too much. The motive is clear. Let's move on. What happened at the crime scene at 1 in the morning, Mr. Delight? Come now, tell us. We're all ears. Witness testimony at the CEO's office. When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there. Yeah, see? That is fucking Luke at me, dude. That is fucking Luke at me that he saw, man. 100% that's Luke. That son of a bitch. Suddenly, I was hit on the forehead. After that, I remember being a bit dazed. If I hadn't been wearing that, I would have been killed. Would he say what he was wearing? When I came to, Mr. Bullard was lying there dead. Maybe he was wearing his mask? His mask to mask mask? I see. Suddenly hits on the forehead, huh? I believe the detective from yesterday provided similar testimony. He said that Master Mosk struck him on the head from behind. Yeah, see how they're like putting that together? The whole getting struck on the head thing? You know, I feel like there's a connection there. The fact that Ron doesn't remember things and got dizzy, and Luke remembers everything and has only like claimed to have been hit, and really because we only put him in a position where he had to. So I think that's kind of linked. You know what I mean?
Of course, since Atme turned out to be the culprit himself, that was all a lie.
Ha! No one's going to believe a pathetic lie like that. What are you saying? I really was attacked. We'll find out of what you say is true or not during the cross-examination. Got that, Mr. Trite? Don't go easy just because he's your client. If I see any sign that you are, I'll treat you to another cup of my special blend. You don't need to worry about that, Mr. Gazelle.
I have faith in Ron. I know he didn't do it.
Oh, which, by the way, guys, we have a 7TV emote. Speaking of Godot's coffee, it should be in there. Let me double check. 7TV, I do have a custom emote. Yes, boom. So if you guys have the 7TV extension, you should be able to see that as an emote of Phoenix with coffee on his face. If you guys don't have the extension, here's a link to it in case anybody wants to get it. I know you mobile guys, you can't see it, which I'm sorry, there's no solution there. But for all you browser people, if you guys want to see it, there you go. There's that. Sorry, let's get back into the game. Just trying to type in chat. Yes, if you guys want, got that Phoenix coffee. But yeah, if you just type it just like that, Phoenix coffee, one, you know, with no space, capital first letters of each word, you can use the emote too. When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there. Who was this suspicious shadow? If there were 1,000 me, and if I even knew, even if one knew, I'd tell you. Trust me.
His dodging all of your questions is not helping us win this case.
Okay, then how was the victim Mr. Bullard at the time? What do you mean by how was he? Was he already dead? Was he still alive? Maybe he was the one who hit you in the first place. That's a good question. What do you think, Mr. Wright? Forget it. I didn't help at all. Well, hey, there might be an option for mobile peeps, right? Yeah, one day. It's unfortunate. I would put it in my regular animated emote slots for you guys mobile people to use if Twitch wasn't so lame about how many slots they give you. You know, now I gotta become a partner to get it anymore, and like, how long is that gonna take? Years, probably? But yeah, hopefully they'll do something. I mean, they have like integration within the website, a better TTV to a degree. I think there's like a switch that you can turn on to allow them or something like that. But yeah, it's kind of weird. They really should do something, or hopefully maybe better TTV or 7TV will come up with something that you can install on your phone.
Don't make me use
That'll do it. Who knows?
Because I'll use them.
No, Aaron's about to use his muscles. I don't know what for. Is it on Twitch for not letting people have better TTV emotes on mobile? Is that what you're doing? Huh? Suddenly, I was hit on the forehead. After that, I remember being a bit dazed. Your forehead? Yes. I was hit on the forehead as soon as I entered the room. It was an amazingly fast and powerful attack. Do you remember anything about who hit you? Well, like I said, it was a fast and powerful hit. So I think I was a little dazed for a while.
I don't think Mr. Delight even grasped what you were asking.
Yeah, I'd like to show him a fast and powerful attack myself. Damn, Phoenix. Fucking get him, boy. There you go. Crispy's locking in at Luke at me. I'm probably wrong, but what's new with this game? No, I mean, I'm with you, Crispy. Like, I think it was Luke. Like, it seems like there's a lot of things where it could have been Luke at me. So, like, I'm right there with you. I think you're right. But we'll see, right? Getting more emotes. Right, yeah, exactly. Gonna have to use our muscles to get those fucking emotes, dude. Because, like, I love, like, all my anime emotes, but it'd be cool to be able to switch some in and out, you know, for, like, Phoenix Wright stuff and all that, you know? But, hey, what are you gonna do? I guess I could do, like, save one slot for, like, a dedicated what game we're playing that day slot, and then just swap emotes out, because they let you do that now, like, swap them in and out pretty easily. So I probably could do that, you know? Maybe just take one of my animate emotes away, make it, like, a standard stationary one, and then just have a slot that I can, like, switch in and out, you know? Maybe something like that. Maybe that would knock some sense back into him. Ooh, Stella thinks it's Desiree. Oh, nice. That's cool. Good theory. I think it's fun. If I hadn't been wearing that, I would have been killed. That. Could you please clarify what you're referring to? Why, my Master Moss costume, of course. Wait just a moment.
Master Mask?
Huh? Oh, did I forget to mention it before? Just to be on the safe side, I dressed as Master Mask. And then I descended upon the office of the CEO of KB Security.
What?
Nick, did you know about this? You never told me this.
I don't recall him ever mentioning it to me either.
Even I didn't know that. It seems our little friend really loves to keep secrets.
I'm sorry, I just never had a chance to mention it up until now. Wait. That's not right. You know how sometimes things just slip from your mind?
Ha! My 6th cup of coffee is staring up at me coldly. At any rate, we can't ignore this new piece of information. Witness, please correct your testimony.
I'd have been killed if I hadn't been wearing my Master Mask costume. Why were you dressed up as Master Mask? Why, because I'm Master Mask, of course.
What are you talking about? Master Mask's trial is being held next door.
Yes, I guess so. Anyway, at that time, I thought I was being blackmailed over the Master Mask issue. So I thought I should go as him, just to be safe. Oh boy. Let me tell you, it's a real pain to move around with that cape. That's why I took a lot longer than I expected. Took a lot longer? Yeah.
What is he talking about?
Wait and see, press harder. What do you mean by took a lot longer? Oh, opening the safe, of course. My cape got caught on the safe door, you see. This all happened when I was hiding Mr. Bullard's body.
What was that? Back up a second.
Yes?
You were the one that hid the body in the safe?
Well, yeah. See, we already knew that. He told us that. Because he found the body, and then I guess he, like, panicked and decided to hide it for some reason. I don't remember the reason why he wanted to hide it. Maybe he, like, understood that he would look guilty from being there, I guess? I'm not quite sure. I can't remember exactly what his reasoning was, or if he even had one. But he definitely said he panicked and put the body in there. But yeah, that's not looking good for the fucking judge to be knowing that.
Inconceivable! Why? Just why? What reason could you have? What were you thinking? Question. When does someone toss their dirty shorts in a washing machine? What? The answer is simple. When they take them off. As usual, I have no idea what you're saying.
Do you mean that Mr. Delight hit the body because he's the murderer?
Ha! So you're not as stupid as you look.
His metaphor this time was really obscure.
Are they always really obscure?
Mr. Wright, you don't mean that you knew about this whole safe business, do you?
Well, yes.
Why am I the only one not in the loop here?
Isn't this whole point is to get you in the loop?
Witness, make sure you add this to the testimony.
Yes, sir.
Uh-oh, looks like a storm front is moving in over the fair-weather judge.
I panicked and hid the body in the safe. It took about 10 minutes. Maybe that 10 minutes is gonna matter. We'll see. Why did you hide the body in the safe anyway? Well, because it wouldn't fit in a drawer. That's not exactly what I meant. When I saw that corpse, I kind of lost it. I thought, if they find this corpse, they'll think I did it.
Ha! I think you had a simpler reason than that. It's because you killed him. That's why you spent 10 minutes hiding the body. That certainly makes more sense.
Hold on. 10 minutes?
What is it, Nick?
I just had a thought. Under those circumstances, would you normally try to hide a body? And spend 10 whole minutes to do it?
Under those circumstances? What circumstances? Oh! Hey, Nick! If he thinks his behavior was so strange, why don't you present some evidence that would show just what those circumstances were?
That's it! I'll take a look at the court record and present some evidence.
We heard from Mr. Delight yesterday, didn't we?
There's not much in his testimony, there's not much in this testimony either.
I bet you he's still hiding something.
I wouldn't be surprised. We'll just have to draw it out of him.
I just hope he doesn't make things any more complicated.
Okay, so there's something we can show about the circumstances. See, what I'm thinking about circumstances is, I guess, like, why would, okay, he's pointing out the 10-minute thing. So why would you take 10 minutes to hide the body under those circumstances? Now, those circumstances meaning, I'm going to guess, like, if he was the murderer, if he actually did murder the person, why would he spend that much time at the scene of the crime trying to hide it, I guess? Is that maybe what he means by circumstances? Let's look at the evidence and we'll see what we can figure out. Let's go ahead and make a save. Because she mentions his testimony from yesterday, so let's take a look at that. What do we have from Ron's testimony? Can we look at it? Oh, all we get is that little bit. From Domm's second heist on, he was stealing as directed by blackmail letters. So I guess that circumstance? Or is it because he was dressed as Master Mask? Is that part of it? Like, the circumstance was that he was dressed up? I feel like it has to do with Ron's testimony, just because Maya talks about it, though. From Domm's second heist on, he was stealing as directed by blackmail letters. So if this guy was the one that was blackmailing him, maybe that's the circumstance, so why would he hide the body if he was being blackmailed by this guy? So if he came there to kill the guy because of the blackmail letter, he wouldn't bother shoving him in the safe? I don't see how that could be a strong point to make. They did also say that he was still hiding something, so it might be that there still was one of those double option things that I need to go through it again. So let's go ahead and press all the statements again, and then we'll see what we get, and we'll go from there. When he entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there. I'm sus of Desiree. Ron would do anything for her, like hide a body. Yeah, for sure. I'm suspicious of Desiree because Desiree acts like she doesn't know stuff, but I think Desiree's a lot smarter than that. You know what I mean? And I'm also suspicious of Desiree because of the fact that she can move really quickly, and the game has focused on her character saying that, how fast she can go from place to place, because she drives faster than most traffic. You know, she mentioned that a lot, like a couple of times at least. She's talked about how fast she is and how she has a motorcycle and stuff. You know, they make that like a big part of her personality. She's even got wheels for her earrings, you know what I mean? Like that's none of that's an accident, I can't imagine, you know? So I'm with you that Desiree is suspicious. I don't know that Desiree would murder this guy, but I do get that she is suspicious in some way, but I'm not sure. Because I mean, I don't know, the Luke murdering the guy, I don't know why he would either. So maybe Desiree does have more motive, and that could lead to her being the murderer, I guess. But, because it could just be a red herring, the fact that it keeps showing Luke through Ron's memory, you know what I mean? And maybe he's even working together with Desiree, you know? Because this could all be an act, for all we know, right? So, man, I don't know. We're just going to have to see what happens, dude. This is a good case. I'm going to switch to seed mode real quick. My light over here. Should be good now. Oh, and Shyla redeemed a hydrate. Thank you, Shyla, and thanks for coming to hang out. How are you today? Hopefully you're having a good one. Go ahead and get some OJ here. Oh, what? My lighting's still off? Oh, did I not fix the light very well? There we go. Right? No, because now you see my... Why is it all... What did I do? Hold up.
How's that? Yeah, that's better. My light was too close to me. I knocked it closer to me, I think. So it was making my chair a different color. So now it should go ahead and fade into the back. There we go. It's fading a little bit. Let me just adjust my chroma key real quick. Sorry, guys. Just a moment. I can get a little anal about my camera. Let's see here. I think it's that it changed the color temperature of my camera, because even if I set it to be manual, it still just seems to automatically set it anyways. Should be good now, though. Okay, we're good to go. Now for some OJ. Hello, I'm feeling heavy, so I'm having a whole pizza for dinner. How are you? That's an interesting way to describe it. You're feeling heavy, so you're having a whole pizza? Maybe you're feeling hungry? I feel like you'd feel heavy after eating a whole pizza, right? I don't know. Maybe you're just describing something using a different word. I feel sad. You feel sad? I'm sorry, Shyla. You want to tell us about it? Like, almost physically sad. Oh, and that's where the heaviness comes from? Okay, so the whole pizza's like comfort food then, maybe. Which sounds delicious, and I'm all for that. But I'm sorry that you're feeling sad, Shyla. I'm really sorry about that. Scratch I got can't keep me away from puppies. Hell yeah. Jen, I've been there like a weight on your heart. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. All comfort. Well, I hope the pizza works. Had a patient today that was like mental. It messed with me. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, that would be a hard thing to be around. Sorry about that, Charlie. I hope that pizza helps warm you up. And I hope that maybe being here hanging out with us can help you forget about all that. And you can, you know, just focus on the here and now, you know. But I can see how that could definitely mess with you for sure. It's ready for some court. Hell yeah, here we go. So, if you want, I can try to do a broad strokes of what we've just uncovered. We haven't uncovered much from last week, but I don't know how much you remember from last week, Shiloh. But you know what to do. Just let me know. We'll get you caught up. I want everybody to know what's going on. You know what I mean? Let me get my foot pedal in a comfortable spot. There we go. Who is this on the stand? Okay, there you go. That's a good question. This is Ron Delight. So this whole case that we've been in, it started as like a thievery case, if you remember, for this urn that was part of Maya's hometown's, like, I don't know, their channeling technique or whatever. The urn was like her whatever dead ancestors was in there. So the urn got stolen, and it was supposedly this guy named Master Mask. So we found this guy. This guy says he's Master Mask, but his wife says he's not. He's crazy. So he became our defendant. We proved that some other guy was Master Mask. We got him to admit it anyways. And so we got our defendant a not guilty verdict, but he still believes he is Master Mask. But when we actually defended him, the evidence we used to place him in a different location, basically to give him an alibi, his alibi then turned into making him a suspect in a murder case because someone was murdered at the place that we placed him with his alibi. So now we're in like the second half of this thing, and so now he's still our client, but now he's being charged with murder. And so we are now cross-examining him, asking him about why he was at that place at that time, and why because he apparently hid the body in a safe, and so we're kind of asking him why he did that and stuff like that. So but anyways, Ron also, just as another detail, he has a wife named Desiree. Desiree rides a motorcycle and she goes really fast. And but she hates bad guys. She hates thieves and she hates murderers or whatever. She hates bad guys. And Ron, and she really likes to spend money. She's definitely a high maintenance gal. And Ron, he knows that, so he ended up having to steal. When he used to work at KB Security, he had to steal some data in order to try to get more money and to sell it, to get more money to pay for, I guess, Desiree's debt that she must have him in. In doing so, he got caught and got fired, but then he was blackmailed by the head of security or the CEO of the company in order to like steal as Master Mask. At least this is what Ron's story is. And then the last blackmail letter he got was threatening him, and it said to come to this location. So he came to the location, and then he says he got knocked out as soon as he opened the door by apparently the real murderer of the CEO guy. But now he said he woke up, found the body there, and tried to stuff it in the safe, So that's pretty much where we're at. Yeah, hid the body sus. Yeah, it is sus, but he is our client. So we don't want our client to be sus, right? So we have to figure out how it wasn't him, or him hiding the body in the safe does not make him guilty and stuff like that. So we've sort of honed in on right now that he said that it took him about 10 minutes to hide the body because his cape was like getting in the way and stuff. And so that 10 minutes is sort of like the thing we're kind of honing in on with why would you take 10 minutes to hide a body if you just murdered someone? And so that's kind of exactly where we're at. You're always here for us too. What are friends for? If not to laugh together during good times and virtually hug during the rough ones. Yeah, hell yeah, there you go. And Stella gazes longingly toward Shyla. Will they? Won't they? I love that. All right, here we go. When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there. Who was this suspicious shadow? If there were 1,000 of me, and if even one knew, I'd tell you. Trust me.
His dodging all of our questions is not helping us win this case.
Okay, then how was the victim Mr. Bullard at that time? What do you mean by, how was he? Was he already dead? Was he still alive? Maybe he was the one who hit you in the first place. That's a good question. What do you think, Mr. Wright? Forget it. Night, bud. Speak to you tomorrow. Sounds good, Aaron. Have a good night, man. Thanks for hanging out. Well, you could, dude. And suddenly, I was hit on the forehead. After that, I remember being a bit dazed. Your forehead? Yes. I was hit on the forehead as soon as I entered the room. It was an amazingly fast and powerful attack. Do you remember anything about who hit you? Well, like I said, it was a fast and powerful hit. So I think I was a little dazed for a while.
I don't think Mr. Delight even grasped what you were asking.
Yeah, I'd like to show him a fast and powerful attack myself. Maybe that would knock some sense back into him. I'd have been killed if I hadn't been wearing my Master Mosk costume. Why were you dressed up as Master Mosk? Why, because I'm Master Mosk, of course. What are you talking about? Master Mosk's trial is being held next door. Yes, I guess so. Anyway, at that time, I thought I was being blackmailed over this Master Mosk issue. So I thought I should go as him, just to be safe. Oh boy. When I came to, Mr. Bullard was lying there dead. When you came to? Yes, I was passed out in the corner of the room. Do you know when your assailant made their escape and to where? I'm afraid I don't really remember. Huh? Once they hit me, I lost all track of what was going on. I think that's when they made their escape. Ha! That's certainly a convenient story for you, isn't it? It certainly is, isn't it, Mr. Wright? It almost sounds practiced. I don't know why you're telling me. I panicked and hid the body in the safe. It took about 10 minutes. Why did you hide the body in the safe anyway? Well, because it wouldn't fit in a drawer. That's not exactly what I meant. When I saw that corpse, I kind of lost it. I thought, if they find his corpse, they'll think I did it. Ha! I think you had a simpler reason than that. It's because you killed him. That's why you spent 10 minutes hiding the body. That certainly makes more sense.
Hold on. 10 minutes.
What is it, Nick?
Just had a thought. Under those circumstances, would you normally try to hide the body? And spend 10 whole minutes to do it?
Under those circumstances? What circumstances? Oh! Hey, Nick. If you think his behavior was so strange, why don't you present some evidence that would show just what those circumstances were?
That's it! I'll take a look at the court record and present some evidence.
We heard from Mr. Delight yesterday, didn't we?
There's not much in this testimony either.
I bet you he's still hiding something.
I wouldn't be surprised. We'll just have to draw it out of him.
I just hope he doesn't make things any more complicated.
Okay, so now we should have everything we need. So I don't think we really got much out of that second pass-through for all that. Let's see, when I entered the office, there was suspicious shadow there. Suddenly I was hit on the forehead. After that, I remember being a bit dazed. I'd have been killed if I hadn't been wearing my Master Moss costume. Has something to do with hiding the body. When I came to, Mr. Bullard was lying there dead. I panicked and hid the body in the safe. It took about 10 minutes, and that's it. And we have Ron's testimony from the trial yesterday, and it says, from Damask's second heist on, he was stealing as directed by blackmail letters. I don't see a clear connection here, but I feel like this is what the game's telling me to do, is to press him with this. I don't know if it's on this specific line. Buzzer record, a buzzer went off once at, 1:02 a.m. on October 12th in the CEO's office. So if it took him 10 minutes, that's the circumstance, maybe. Because the buzzer got pressed, and if he knew the buzzer worked, why would he take 10 minutes to hide him? Because security should be able to get up there in 10 minutes, right? I feel like that's the strongest thing I got. Let's save real quick. I forgot about the buzzer. Oh, the music stopped. Your Honor, could you please take a look at this record? And what might this be? The record for the emergency buzzer that connects the CEO's office to security. If the button in the office is pressed, a security team is supposed to come running. So, yeah, so what we're saying is the real killer killed Bullard, knocked Damask out, dragged him into the corner or whatever, pushed the button, expecting security to come up, find Damask and the body, and then immediately, you know, find him guilty or whatever of the murder, right? But the thing that the murderer didn't expect was that Larry Butts was on duty, and Larry is a POS. And he was not at his station, not doing his job. So that's the only reason why he even had a chance to hide the body. So that's all pretty interesting. This is definitely a very intricate thing going on here. Let me read this again. If the button in the office is pressed, a security team is supposed to come running. And according to this record, the buzzer was pushed once at 1:02 a.m. What? If Mr. Ron Delight truly was the murderer, he would have ran as soon as the buzzer sounded. After all, a security guard would have been heading his way. Ha! Let's remember who we're dealing with here. He probably had no idea there were security personnel in the building. How would he not? He worked there. Up until 1 year ago, my client was working as a chief of security. There's no way he wouldn't have known about them. But, as it turns out, the guard never came. That was nothing more than a coincidence. The fact that the guard was a pathetic loser who had just gotten punched in the face by his ex's new boyfriend, and wasn't anywhere in the vicinity, was not something Mr. Delight could have known. Ha! Again, remember who we're dealing with here. It's a sure bet that Mr. Delight didn't even notice the buzzer going off. This buzzer's extremely loud. There is no way he could have ignored something like that. If he had been conscious, that is. Conscious? What do you mean by that? Are you gonna throw the coffee at me now? Fine. Let's hear your theory. Recall the defendant's testimony. The moment he entered the victim's office, someone attacked him. Mr. Delight said he felt dazed. I'm willing to wager that he was knocked unconscious for at least a few minutes.
Unconscious? So he fainted. That's why Mr. Delight didn't know that the buzzer had sounded. And that's why he thought he had time to hide the body. So what are you trying to say? Mr. Delight was knocked out, and the buzzer went off soon afterwards. Now, unless my client was able to hit the buzzer while he was unconscious, it can only mean that there was another person in that room. That's right. Whoever it was, they knocked out Ron Delight and then pressed the buzzer. Order in the court. Mr. Wright, this is... This is preposterous. It was this kid. Ron Delight. He's the one who killed Kane Bullard. Then who pressed the buzzer? It was... the victim, of course. He pressed the buzzer when the defendant attacked. He didn't die right away. He must have held on long enough to push that button. Ah! So Kane Bullard sounded the buzzer himself. What is your opinion on this, Mr. Wright?
I need to prove that the real criminal was there at the scene. But how? Can I prove that it wasn't Kane Bullard who sounded the buzzer?
Oh shit, let's save it. Let me look at his autopsy report. Is there something about the way that he died? Like he got hit when he didn't know it? Blunt trauma to the head. Cerebral hemorrhaging. I mean, that sounds pretty fucking fatal. At 1 a.m. That means he was still, like, because it happens at 1:02. But if they thought, I mean, the time of death is usually kind of like give or take a few, right? Minutes. First heist. Guard and photo was Ron Delight. Into the basement security guard office. There are no fingerprints on it. So he would have had left fingerprints, right? I feel like that would be it. Okay, let's try that. Let's try the no fingerprints on the button. Because why would Bullard have gloves on or whatever, right? Why would there not be any fingerprints left on the buzzer, right? I can prove it all right. The defense's opinion is this, Your Honor. This piece of evidence proves that it wasn't the victim who sounded the buzzer. I believe this is the piece of incontrovertible evidence you were looking for. The emergency buzzer? Is there some kind of clue on it? Absolutely not. Hey, come on now. At least give some thought to what you say before opening your mouth. The fact that there is absolutely no clues is itself the clue. Now I'm the one who's clueless. This button has no fingerprints on it. If Mr. Bullard had really pressed it himself, naturally he would have left his fingerprints behind. Ron Delight obviously wiped them off. Why would he? A guard could have come in at any moment. He touched that button. I know he did. The defendant, Mr. Delight, was dressed as Master Mask. And Master Mask always wears gloves. What reason could he possibly have to have wiped the button free of fingerprints? Order, order, order! Ha! It would seem. I've been forced to eat crow.
I wonder what blend of number crow flavored coffee is.
I wonder what blend number crow flavored coffee is. I feel like I read that wrong for a second. However, if the real killer was there at the scene, why would that person press the emergency buzzer? To frame my client. Couldn't they have ran away without putting themselves in extra danger? Come on, Phoenix, there's a good reason for that. What's with this awkward silence all of a sudden? Ha! It looks like you're fresh out of parlor tricks.
They're on to you, Nick.
Just give me a minute to collect my thoughts. The real culprit killed Mr. Bullard at around 1 a.m.
And Mr. Delight just happened to waltz in when the murder was taking place, right? I'm sorry, that's what Maya said. That's okay. The killer clobbered Mr. Delight and then sounded the buzzer.
Even though security was supposed to respond right away to the buzzer when the buzzer was pressed.
Security was supposed to respond.
Why is this taking you so long, Phoenix? Mama Stella said she enjoys the voice acting you do, Dom. Oh, thank you, Mama Stella. I appreciate you. Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Hope it makes it easier to watch.
Time's up, Mr. Wright. Let's hear what you have to say.
Very well, then.
Oh ho, you've got some guts. I like that in an opponent. Why did the real killer sound the emergency buzzer?
I'm gonna go ahead and save it real quick, just in case. It's definitely to flame Ron. To frame him. Did I say flame him? Frame him? They didn't mean to call the security guard to find out what it did. Yeah, to find out what it did. What does this do? Boop. To call a security guard. One of those counterintuitive answers. The killer knew that if they pressed that button, a guard would come running. And that was exactly what they wanted.
Do you mean to say the killer called the guard on purpose?
Yes. Although, as it turned out, he never showed up.
Because he was getting his clock cleaned at the time.
Clock clean as in got punched in the face by his ex's new boyfriend.
Ha! What a touching story. You're saying the killer had a change of heart and called the guard to turn himself in?
No, that's not what we're saying, Godot. You're an idiot. No, I'm not. When that buzzer sounded, there were 3 people in that office. The victim, Kane Bullard, who was already dead. The defendant, Ron Delight, who was out cold. And the third person, the real killer. I keep using Luke at me as fucking silhouette.
Hypothetically, yes.
Now then, in this situation, if the real killer made an escape, what would happen? The only ones left in the room would be the victim and Ron Delight. And if any security guards came running in at that time, they would think that I was the murderer. Yes, that was precisely the real killer's objective. To frame Ron Delight for the murder. Oh, Godot. Oh, nope. He still got composure. That's hilarious. It really throws you for a second.
Order, order, order. Ha! It would seem.
He always says that, it would seem.
I've been made to eat my words once again.
Actually, you've been made to do a spit take with a cup of coffee.
Mr. Wright, who was it? Who was it that tried to frame me? Wait. Wait a second. I'm the one and only Master Mask, so...
Nick, you mean the real killer is...
We're going to drag that person in here right now.
But who is it?
I don't have any solid proof yet, but think about it. The killer knew Mr. Delight's identity, and they also knew that he had been called to KB security that night. So the killer used him to execute a well-crafted plan to murder Kane Bullard. Which, honestly, sounds like it could be Desi. You know, I feel like if anybody would know all those things, wouldn't it be Desiree? Right? I mean, come on, Stella, I think, and that's starting to really look bad for Desiree. You know? Because I guess what I'm trying to think is that I don't think that Luke would have known Ron's true identity. Maybe he did, and that's just yet to be revealed. But the only person who would have known that he had the blackmail could have been Desi, because the blackmail letter was just sitting out at his house. You know, and she knows that he thinks he's Master Mask. And so maybe, you know, she knew more than she's leading on, I guess is what I'm saying. Because she kind of acts like she doesn't know, and Ron thinks she doesn't know, but I think she does know, and maybe she was on a couple things. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? The weird thing is like, the urn got stolen and this guy died at the same time, but apparently Ron was where the guy died. So who stole the urn then? I don't know, man. I was sniffing some BS coming from Desi. Yeah, and I get you. I feel like the way she says some things, she's like a little too clueless. You know what I mean? I totally get you.
Now then, let's hear your accusation, Mr. Wright. Who was it that framed Mr. Rondelite for the murder of Kane Bullard?
This is when we would present Desi then, right? She's the only person who could have known all those things. Because it's like, I want to say Luke at me because the game keeps showing Luke. But how would Luke know Ron's identity? I guess the reason why I'm so like strong on the Luke thing too is that my theory earlier, but I think we're going to have to go with Desiree.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, there's Papa. What's up, dude? How's it going, man? How is it going, dude? We're about to try to accuse somebody, man. Oh, damn it, I realized there's that scroll bar on the screen. Hold on, let me see if I can fix that real quick. It's one of my overlays that does that, and I don't know why. There we go. Went away when I did that. It's so weird. All I have to do is like hide it and show it again, and then it fixes it. But it's just like, why does it show up in the first place, you know? I'm back home from chiropractor. Accuse Pearly. Pearly is all the way back at Korean Village right now. Or Korean, or however you want to say it. This, I guess it still could be Pearly. Pearly, you adorable little murderer, you. Look at her. She's just so fucking adorable, dude. How can you accuse that adorable little face? She could kill all the people in the world and I'd still defend her. Look at her. Oh my gosh. All right, so I guess we're going to present Desiree, because to me, that makes the most sense. She would be the one who would know all that stuff. This feels weird, because I feel like the game is definitely pointing at Luke, but she's the only one that would know. She's only 23? They're only 23? He's 34? All right, here we go. Naturally, the true culprit was none other than Ron Delight's wife, Desiree.
What? Why, that's simply...
Mr. Wright, have you gone insane?
Aren't you forgetting something, Mr. Trite?
Excuse me?
Where was Desiree Delight at 1 a.m. that night?
Ah, that's right. She was at the police station for almost the entire night.
She was being questioned for being stopped for reckless riding.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I have a record of it here.
Ah!
I forgot all about that!
I totally did. Me and Phoenix forgot about it, apparently.
It seems that senility may be setting in early for you, Mr. Wright.
Damn it. We'll go ahead and eat those.
Talk about things you never want to hear this judge say to you.
It looks like you better think again.
So I guess it was Luke then, huh? Let me go ahead and save, because I don't know that we saved before the last guess, so.
Now then, let's hear your accusation, Mr. Wright. Who was it that framed Mr. Ron Delight for the murder of Kane Bullard?
It must have been Luke then. Detective Luke Atney. He's the only one who could have done it.
Ace Detective.
Luke Atney.
You mean Master Mask did it?
Your Honor, the person being tried in the court next to us is not Master Mask at all. He is, in actuality, the true murderer of Kane Bullard.
Order, order! Mr. Wright, explain yourself.
Theft and murder, which is the more serious crime. Did I not say that at the beginning of this fucking stream? That's so funny. That's what you get for accusing her. Thank you. What do you mean that's what I get for accusing her? Why you gotta be so mean to me, Crispy? And thank you, my name is Pink for the gifted sub to Ka. If you're here. I don't think that person's here. I don't know my name is Pink. It's probably want to cause people, I guess. Weird place to thank her. Okay. Which is the more serious crime?
They're not even close. Murder is the more serious crime, of course. It's a capital crime subject to a capital punishment.
Please remember the trial from yesterday if you would. When Luke Atme confessed, there was a huge commotion in the courtroom. Of course, a famous detective was unmasked as well as masked to mask. That's just weirdly worded. Instead of being convicted of murder, he was found guilty of grand larceny. That was his true objective all along. To be found guilty? Master Mosk had the perfect alibi for when the murder took place. He was stealing the urn at Lordly Taylor. In other words, being found guilty was, as Master Mosk, was Luke Atme's airtight, watertight, and unassailable alibi. A guilty verdict. As an alibi? Pretty crazy. You know, it's also time. It's almost time. For what? For Luke Atme's verdict. It was a pretty simple trial, after all. If we're going to stop this trial and install that one, we need to do it now. Of course. That's assuming you have proof that the detective was the one who committed the murder. Mr. Luke Atme's trial has indeed attracted the attention of the entire country. If we're to intrude and failed to provide adequate proof of his true crime, Mr. Delight would be left with no grounds for appeal.
Am I really sure about this?
Ha. A bet's only good when your life's the ante. Mr. Wright, I believe in you. Mr. Delight. So, please. I'm begging you!
Thanks, but my decision will determine the rest of your life. Can I really risk your life like this?
Phoenix. Huh.
What was that?
Don't stray, Phoenix. For your client, take the path you trust.
That voice. It sounds like Mia.
Has Maya has she channeled Mia? Your Honor, the defense requests an immediate recess. Ha. So that's your answer, huh? Very well. I've decided as well. This court will now take a 20-minute recess. Mr. Wright, when we return, please summon Mr. Luke Atme to the stand. Yes, Your Honor. October 14th, 11:58 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 5. I wonder who this judge is going to be in here. Oh, look, it's Payne, that son of a bitch Payne. I feel like he still has more hair than he did the first time. Maybe I just remembered him having less hair. He still doesn't have that damn pompadour. I'm not being mean. I think you were being mean. I don't know how else they could have gifted me. I'm just dumb. So let me explain a little bit how it works, Crispy. If everybody who has ever been in Cause Chat or whatever has already been gifted a sub, Twitch starts to look at other things, like maybe, perhaps, I don't know this for certain, but like friends of friends, or maybe if you just, I raided into Caw once and you were in the raid, it'll just choose you or whatever. So someone gifted you a sub, and they have to gift you a sub in Cause Chat, but it just got gifted to you because nobody that was there at the time didn't have a sub to give gifted to. So that's why you got gifted in Cause Chat. And that's why it's weird for you to thank them in my chat, because it didn't happen in here, and it's for a different streamer, so it's just kind of a weird thing. That's all I'm saying. You're not dumb for that, you know, if you didn't know that that's how it worked, it's okay. But I was just trying to let you know that that's kind of a weird thing to do, I guess. It just seems, I don't know. I don't want to say rude, but just kind of taboo, in a way. It's kind of weird. But, you know, no harm done, or whatever. All right, here we go.
Well, Sir Detective Atme?
I have to say, Mr. Payne, you performed splendidly.
Oh no, Sir Detective Atme. You were the one who...
Whoa, look at this judge. Who the fuck are you, dude? Who is this guy? Or I don't even know what the voice to give this guy. That's enough. This court sees no reason to further prolong this trial. This court finds the defendant Luke Adme. Oh no, dude, we gotta stop that trial. Hold it! Wait! Don't hand down your verdict yet, please! Well, well, Sir Lawyer. Welcome to my courtroom. Look at that beard, right? It's so funny because it's like the exact same beard as the other judge. It's just blonde, though, right? Isn't it like the exact same shape even at the top? I'm pretty sure like the bottom's the same, but like isn't even the top the same? I think they gave him a little bit of hair with a really weird hairline. He's like parting. He's got only hair in the middle, and then he's parting it to each side. It looks like. I don't know, man. No judging you, Judge. It's all good, dude. You're the one who judges here, but I've just never seen that before. Who's this hoser, eh? My name's Phoenix Wright, attorney at law, and I wish to file an accusation against this man, Luke Adme.
Accusation? You accuse Master Musk?
That man is not Master Mosk. He's just a ruthless murderer. What? Oh, he's sweating now, dude. He thought he got away with a lesser verdict. Oh, to be continued. Right now? Hell yeah, dude. That was cool to finally see a different judge. Isn't that kind of funny? Not that I want us to change judges, because I like the judge we have. I like the voice that I give him. I'll probably give the next judge in the next game the same voice if it's still a dude and he's an old guy. But we'll see. October 14th, 12:14 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 4. Let me get someone chat here. I think I missed a message here. Yeah, Crispy said, I haven't been looking at chat, so I didn't know if I missed anything. Yeah, well, it wouldn't come up in my chat. If you're still talking about the gifted sub, it would never come up in my chat. It would have to be in Cause chat. That's why it would be weird. That's what I'm trying to describe, is that since it had to happen in Cause chat, it's weird for you to think in my chat for something that happened in someone else's stream. It's just kind of weird. It's absolutely the same judge. He's just trying to out a new look. I like that idea, What? And what's up, man? I didn't know you were lurking here. What's up, dude? And a new accent and a new jurisdiction. He's just, he's just trying out a couple new things, Sometimes the judge just needs to change it up a little bit. I get it. That's funny.
My sis?
I could have sworn I heard Mia's voice.
So then, she's still alive. Inside your heart.
Oh, I don't remember Desiree's voice. Nicky boy. Oh, Miss Delight. Is it true that Detective is the real killer? To be honest, we don't have any definitive proof. But he's the only one who could have done it. But wasn't he that lordly tailor that night?
Not to mention, we don't exactly know his motive. I mean, why would Detective Adme want to kill Kane Bullard?
Oops, it's almost time. Better get back to the courtroom.
I need to find some solid proof. And it's gotta happen sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I mean, we must have the proof already. We're not going to get to investigate anymore, so it's all going to have to come out in the courtroom during the testimony. October 14th, 12:21 p.m., District Court, courtroom number 6. Okay, I wasn't in her chat. Anyway, never mind. Yeah, and that's what I was trying to describe earlier. You don't have to be in her chat to receive it, but it had to happen in her chat to have happened at all. So I'm just trying to explain that to you. I'm sorry if I'm not doing that clear enough, but yeah, anyway, never mind. Let's just continue. I don't need to keep fucking dragging it up. Now then, this court is back in session. Mr. Luke Adme, please take the stand. Well, well, how do you do, Sir Lawyer? I never would have thought to see you acting so recklessly. I couldn't let them hand down your verdict just yet. Not when it would have given you your perfect alibi. An alibi by the name of Master Mosk. I'm sorry. I'm afraid even the great Luke Adme has no idea what you mean. Of course, I have been in the next courtroom ever since 10 o'clock this morning. I'm afraid there's no way I could know what's been going on in here. You've been in the defendant's seat all day long, correct? Being tried as Master Mosk. Indeed, it's truly child's play to fool the ignorant masses.
Not only did the poor fools ask me to protect their valuables, they even gave me a generous reward for returning their own property to them. Take this red diamond ring that sparkles upon my divine finger, for example. So you continue to insist that you are, in fact, Master Mask? Of course. Very well then, look at me. Let us begin with this simple question. On October 12th at 1 a.m., Kane Bullard was murdered. Where were you at that time? One without knowledge lacks even the knowledge that he should be ashamed of himself. But don't worry. I will not hold it against you, Sir Judge. Thanks. All right, Mr. Adme. The night of the murder. Speak. We're all ears. As you wish, Sir Prosecutor. I was stealing the urn as Master Mask, just as I announced I would. I had more than enough time to prepare. It was a pathetically easy job. A photograph contains no words, but in this case, one turned out to be my witness. The time at which the camera captured Master Mask was the same time as the murder. So there's one thing about that picture I want to see now that I haven't thought about. Was in the picture, does the box have the paint on it? Let me look at it really quick. It looks like the front of the box is behind him, I guess. But I still feel like there would be paint on it, because this looks like 3 sides of the box should have paint on it. Because it looks like only one side was outside of the paint splotch. You can see the paint splotch right there. I'm thinking that's going to be something that comes up, but we'll see. It seems the main point of discussion will be this photo at the crime scene.
Everything else up until now was all a part of his plan. There has to be a secret to this picture as well.
Even the great Master Mask cannot be in 2 places at once. Now then, if you'll excuse me, I have a verdict to receive. Unfortunately, Mr. Adme, we still have to do your cross-examination. A fool is too foolish to know that he is a fool. All right, Von Karma. What the fuck, dude?
I think he's trying to say that you're full of it, Nick.
The only thing that's full of it is his alibi. The alibi. I was stealing the urn as Master Mask, just as I announced I would. So this photograph is the proof, correct? Indeed, it is. And the man in the photo is certainly wearing a mask. That is why I am called Masked Mask. But conveniently, that also means that there is no way to tell who this really is. What do you mean? Ha! Are you saying that this is not, in fact, Luke Atme? That it could be an accomplice dressed up as Master Mask to create an alibi? Oh, no, ho! What an interesting idea. Are you saying that I, Lone Wolf Luke, had an accomplice? Do I think he had an accomplice? Let's save real quick, I guess. Luke having an accomplice. Would he need an accomplice? I guess he would. There has to be someone who stole the thing. Because if Luke was at the murder and so was Ron, then who was Master Mask? Who stole the urn? I feel like it could have been Desi, but she was at the police station all that night. And there's records of it. So it can't be Desiree. Plus, why would Desiree do that? That makes no sense. Who all do we have on the court record here? Wouldn't it be crazy if it was Adrian? I feel like Adrian's the only other person that would be there. But it would be so weird of Adrian to do that. She has no motive whatsoever to get involved in this. And she was so fucking torn up about losing the urn that I don't see it being Adrian. And she's the one that broke it though, right? And then she put it back together? I think is what we had found out about Adrian. I don't think you had an accomplice, man. Maybe the accomplice would give it up. I feel like I gotta give it up. I don't think you had an accomplice. I don't see who it could have been, but there had to be somebody else, right? Like, fuck. I don't know. Let's try and give it up and we'll see what happens, I guess. Because I have saved here. We can always come back.
If Luke Atney was at KB Security during the murder, then Master Mask in this picture has to be a fake.
Then there really was an accomplice.
But what if it wasn't an accomplice? Perhaps that photo wasn't taken on that date? Because doesn't it just say the time, but not the date? So, I don't know. But right now, I have no idea who it was.
I don't have any idea right now either.
Base's objections are just what that guy wants. There's got to be another way. I'm going to find it.
I almost said I'm not going to find it. That wouldn't be very good. Now with that attitude, I had more than enough time to prepare. It was a pathetically easy job. I believe Adrian Andrews hired you at one point. That's right. That was over 20 days ago, if I'm not mistaken. You sent the calling card to Lordly Taylor 10 days before the heist. That would mean you sent out the card after you began your security watch, right? Indeed. There was no reason why I couldn't do both jobs at once. It was the perfect opportunity to steal my latest target. I see. You truly are evil, aren't you? Yes, evil is what I am.
Hey, Nick. Isn't there something odd about this?
I think what's kind of odd is why would he steal the urn because it was worthless, right?
Detective Adney was always proud of his ace detective skills, right? But if the urn was stolen from Lordly Taylor while he was the only one watching it, he'd have no way to maintain his perfect ace detective persona.
You know, that's true. It is kind of odd.
A photograph contains no words, but in this case, one turned out to be my witness. Yeah, one that you had set up, right? So by photograph, you mean this piece of evidence here, is that correct? Indeed it is. That is it. The very thing that proves I committed the crime. The very thing that proves you committed the crime.
When you think about it, it's really odd.
You say that almost as if you had this picture taken on purpose. He was simply caught by the very camera that he had set up. You all have days like that. I think you're letting him off way too easy there, Godot. Indeed, it turned out that there was no such thing as a perfect crime after all. Life is truly an ironic thing, a sad, blue melody.
Looks like I'd better gather more information for now. If he's truly the killer, there's got to be something phony in that photo.
You know what, let me look at the box again real quick. Wooden box that had the sacred urn in it has pink paint stains on it. Right, and in the photo it doesn't have the pink paint stains. Oh, see, in this photo it only shows the stains being on two sides of the box though. But in the other photo it shows the stain pattern is different. That's weird. See what I mean? Like it goes up a third side in this photo. But in the other photo, it's like clearly just two sides. Or not in the other photo, but on the actual the urn box. Or no, it's this photo, yeah. It only shows two sides. That's kind of weird. When Adrian dropped the urn's box 2 weeks ago, she also knocked over some paint. So how does he... Okay, it was 2 weeks ago. She also knocked over some paint. And it got on the box. But he has a picture of him with the box that has no paint on it. But there is still paint spilled on the floor over there? Alright, I think I'm getting ahead of the game, so... Hold up. I'll just keep going. Let's not get too carried away. The time in which the camera captured Master Mask was the same time as the murder. about the camera that took this photograph. Oh, come now. It's all too clear what you're thinking. Huh? You think I altered the timestamp on the photograph, don't you? We could have, right? I'm afraid that's impossible. The camera was set up by Lordly Taylor, and on top of that, it was Lordly Taylor's staff that printed the picture's data. Unfortunately for the defense, there's no way that picture could have been altered. Except it could have, because the software that was running the cameras, you know, says look at me, was designed by him. So, yeah, I'm too good at computers to know that's not true, you know. But okay, Mr. fucking sci-fi mask. I see.
Looks like I'd better find something else that could be suspicious.
So this alibi is false?
It has to be, or he couldn't have killed Mr. Bullard at KB Security.
But I'm not really spotting anything unusual.
There are two possibilities. Either Master Mask in the photo is a fake, or the photo itself is. So it's gotta be the whole paint not being on the photo thing, right? How do I portray that? I'm watching tonight's stream like it's a movie. Hell yeah, that's how I want it to be. Hell yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I watch back almost all of my Phoenix Wright streams just because I enjoy, like watching it as a movie as well, you know? Because I always pick up more for some reason. I guess when I'm not like doing the voices and stuff, I feel like I always like make connections and I'm like, oh yeah. And during the stream, I didn't even think about that, but these things are connected, you know? Like that's why I made this big theory last time, and a lot of my theory was correct so far. So that's interesting. The main basis for my theory that was incorrect was I thought maybe Ron was at the scene of the crime and got hit with that sword, because that sword got bent. You know what I mean? So I got bent by something. Godot's a wannabe, Geordie LaForge cosplayer. Gotcha. Yeah, from Star Trek. Yeah, I can see that. His visor is a little Geordie LaForge-esque. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. He's got an off-brand Geordie LaForge fucking visor. I always liked that visor. I always thought he was a cool character. Geordie's a cool character. That's a Star Trek Next Generation for all you people out there that don't get the reference. He's a character. Alright, so he was stealing an urn as Master Mask, just as I announced I would. I had more than enough time to prepare. It was a pathetically easy job. Product contains no words, but in this case, one turned out to be my witness. I'm trying to think which one I'm going to present against. The time at which the camera captured Master Mask was the same as the time of the murder. He's making a pretty decisive statement there. Camera data, the whereabouts, the warehouse camera went off once at around 1 a.m. on the night of the crime. That doesn't help me. The moss knocked at me out during the crime with a blow to the back of the head. Security camera photo. Look at that again. I feel like I'm gonna have to present the photo at some point. Because I feel like I need to compare the photo to the box, but I don't know, I can't do that. You know, I can't just be like, okay, we have two pieces of evidence, put them together and present that. It doesn't let me do that. So I probably have to present one of the pieces of evidence to get something going, and then follow it up, maybe with the box or vice versa or whatever. That's my theory anyways. But these paint splotches being different is also throwing me a little bit. It says it's 58:43. So it's like a minute in, what, 17 seconds before midnight? Or 1 o'clock, I mean? Okay, the last thing it said was the murder was at the same time. I don't have anything to dispute that, do I? Broken and repaired by Adrian 2 weeks ago, then replaced in its box, kept out of sight. It was kept out of sight. Does it have anything to do with it? Adrian dropped the urns box 2 weeks ago. She also knocked over some paint. A wooden box that had the sacred urn in it has pink paint stains on it. I feel like that's the thing, but what do I push it against? Time in which the camera captured Master Mask at the same time as the murder. Photograph contains no words, but in this case, one turned out to be my witness. How do I prove that the photo is fake? Ah, think. How do I prove that the photo is fake? In the photo, there's no paint on the box. I keep getting so hyper-focused on that, but that might not be what I need to focus on. It also says the timestamp on there, but Godot in his stupid mouth said that he couldn't have altered that, but I don't know that that's true, because sometimes that's not how the game works. Something about the photo that makes it fake. And the paint splotch is wrong, and there's no paint on the box, but how would I... So, let me look at the photo again. God, I'm trying to think so hard about this. I mean, Amy's statue isn't there. You know, isn't it right next to the paint splotch? But maybe it's just outside the camera, I guess. Let me look at that really quick. Statue carried into the basement warehouse the day of the crime, moved again that night. I mean, we asked why it would be moved, and the only thing I could think is, like, it would have been moved to make the picture match. Because it wasn't in the picture, and it would have been in the picture if it was still there and that night, you know what I mean? But it was moved when the night of the crime. Man, I'm fucking stumped, dude. Poster for the Treasure Korean exhibit. I feel like I'm on to something, but I don't know where to press it, dude. I don't even know what to try. The photograph contains no words, but in this case, one turned out to be my witness. I don't know. For some reason, that one being worded that way makes me feel like that would somehow... Because we're trying to prove the photograph is wrong, I guess, and he talks about the photograph here. So what if I just press the urn box here? That's the closest thing I got. So let's save here. And try presenting the urn box here. Because he's talking about the photograph, so maybe this is my way of presenting the urn box against the photograph. I'm gonna try that. Stum, flag me if you would like me to look it up. Yeah, you got it. I will definitely explicitly ask you guys if I'd like you to look it up. In fact, I'd probably just look it up myself, to be honest. But yeah, definitely. Thank you for stating that, Stella, just so I can say for everybody. Yeah, I'll let you guys know if I want some help. So here we go. We're gonna present the urn box. Uh-oh, music's still going. Your Honor, what do you think about the witness's statement? I'm not sure I follow you. It clearly, contradicts, I thought... Damn it. You don't sound very sure, Mr. Wright. Objection denied. Alright, let's load back. But could it be... the splash? The paint marks? I don't know, because if this didn't work, I don't know why this would, to be honest. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna look it up. I'll look it up myself. Don't you worry, Stella. You just go ahead and keep watching like it's a movie. Papa Domm, he'll handle it. No problems there. I've actually gotten pretty good at not spoiling it for myself by looking through these walkthroughs. Because the walkthroughs are honestly really well done. Whoever put these together, what is this, strategywiki.org? Good job, you know? Let's see. Okay, so I had to press again. It's one of those things where once you press like the fourth statement, you can go back and press the third statement. I should have known to try that. Okay. So all I know is that I should have pressed again, so we'll do that. I should have known that, that's something that could have been a reality. I just usually only remember to do that when there was one of them that gave me a choice, but this is not one of those times. 1, 2, 3. So it was the photograph one. I just needed to press it again. Okay. So by photograph, you mean this piece of evidence here, is that correct? Indeed it is. That is it. The very thing that proves I committed the crime. The very thing that proves you committed the crime. Surely even you understand by now. Lordly Taylor provided that camera. There's no way I could have tampered with it. That means I could not have killed Kane Bullard unless I had an accomplice.
Come on. Think long and hard about that night. The basement warehouse, and this picture that supposedly captures it. It's gotta be here. Isn't there something funny about this picture?
Oh, you fucking bet there is. Are you implying that this picture is a fake? You bet I am. There's definitely something strange about this picture. You took a look around the basement warehouse that night before the theft took place. And there's something in this photo that doesn't match my memory of that night. Very well. Then let's hear what you have to say. Okay, let me go ahead and save again right here. What about this photograph do you find funny? To me, it's the splotch. I mean, it could be that the urn box... It's either the urn box or the splotch, because the urn box doesn't have splotches on it. I'm gonna go with the urn box. That seems more of like an indicator, because it should have had the splotches. Like, the splotch is there. It's just a weird shape. But this doesn't have any splotches on it, and it definitely should have. So I think that's what I got for that, right? Perhaps this is the area in question. This area? Could you be any more vague? Damn it, I got the wrong one. Fuck. I guess maybe it was a splotch on the ground. Huh. Today's Java has a little extra kick to it. It seems that the funny part lies in the area of the defense. Yeah, fair enough, Fatmy. You got me there, bro. You got me there, bro. Let's try the splash. The funny part is right here. Why, this is a blood stain. Ah, blood! Now this case is getting interesting. Not exactly. This stain is actually pink paint. Oh, just paint. And peach-colored at that.
From blood to peaches, the judge sure loves going on his wild tangents.
The problem with this photograph is not the paint. The problem is when you consider the layout of the basement warehouse. It turns out that something that should be there is nowhere to be seen. So it was Amy's statue. That's what we're saying, because Amy's statue was there before when we get there. Okay, I just don't understand how that proves much, but okay, we'll hear this out. Well, Mr. Wright, what is supposed to be in this picture instead of the paint stains? It must have been Amy Faye's golden statue. The supervisor of the treasure exhibit stated the following.
Well, there's a good reason for that. On the day of the crime, around noon, that golden statue just happened to arrive from the mountain training hall. I realized that the statue would be the perfect size for the covering of the paint stains. That's why I put it where you first saw it.
I myself was there the night the theft took place and saw the statue in that spot. If this picture was truly taken on that night, then that statue should have been there. But when I went there the day after the theft, that statue of the old bag was sitting in the corner. Perhaps it was somehow pushed there accidentally. Your Honor, this statue is slightly larger than yourself and quite heavy. It would take more than an accidental push to move that distance. Huh. In that case, can you prove it? Can you give us a rhyme and reason as to why that statue was moved that night?
Can you do it, Nick?
Never mind who moved it. The real question is, why did they move it?
They moved it to match the picture, right? Because the picture wasn't taken that night. I think that's what we're trying to get at here. Well, Mr. Wright, I hope you were prepared with your answer. Now then, who was the one who moved the golden statue the night of the crime? Luke at me? Because he's trying to match his photo. The one who moved the statue is none other than Luke at me. Come now, sir lawyer. There you go again on one of your strange delusions. Mr. Wright, what basis do you have for your strange delusions? It's very simple. The witness was the only one in the basement warehouse that night. That is indeed very simple. However, why would I want to move a heavy golden statue?
The reason for moving the golden statue. Here's where our battle really begins.
Okay, if our battle's really about to begin here, let's save. Well, Mr. Wright, what reason did the witness have to move that statue? The reason can be found here in this photograph. Huh? Look at me. You pretended to be Master Musk to create an alibi by showing you were at Lordly Taylor that night. But this photograph contains a single fatal flaw. If the statue had been there, your lie would have been exposed like cheap film at a drugstore. What? Okay, that's an interesting metaphor or analogy. That is why you had to move the statue. A single fatal flaw? Interesting theory. Please enlighten us. Just where in this picture does this lie exist? With this now when I click on the urn box? Right? Because the urn box should have paint on it, right? Isn't that what we're getting at now? I'm a lot less certain all of a sudden. Let's go for it. The lie is Master Musk. Are you saying that this Master Musk is a fake? Ha. You know, I really wish you would start acting more responsibly. Huh? The current question is, why was the golden statue moved? So what possible connection could there be with Master Musk's identity?
No, buggers!
Your face has "oh buggers" written all over it. That's a penalty for you. Oh, just because I have "oh buggers" on my face? That's funny. So I was trying to click on the urn, but then they thought, okay, so I must just have to click on the same spot the statue was or something, right? Sometimes these are so wonky, dude. There's a reason that you move the statue. This photograph contains a single fatal flaw. That's why you had to move the statue. Single fatal flaw? Interesting theory. Please enlighten us. Just where in this picture does this lie exist? I guess it's over here where the statue is supposed to be. I guess? Or it's the timestamp, but I guess it has to be this? Statue's supposed to be there. Oh, you just said it's somewhere around here. Jumping to conclusions again. I think you need to take a gander to your local mirror. Oh gosh, what the fuck, game? I don't... Am I just fucking thick or what, dude? As the Yiddish proverb goes, a half-truth is a whole lie. Keep lying like this and you'll be the one on trial.
Oh man, now they're calling me a liar!
Alright. Fuck it, I'm looking it up, guys. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not going to call it lame yet. I don't know if it's a lame thing, but we'll see. Let me see here. It was the timestamp. God, what? Come on. Fuck. God damn it. But they said that he couldn't alter the timestamp. So the lie is that it wasn't taken at that time, I guess, is what we're trying to say. Fuck, dude. But we were just like all like 3 people say, oh, he couldn't have altered the timestamp though. But like I guess he did then. Or he took it at 1 a.m. I don't know, whatever. That one feels dumb. I hate when the game does that. Like, it seems to definitively say this can't be the thing, and then it is the thing. And it's just like, fucking god damn it. Naturally, the lie in this photo is the timestamp. Well, what do you mean? We just discussed for 5 minutes how he couldn't have adjusted the timestamp, but now you're gonna say it's the timestamp? I'll tell you exactly what I mean. On the night in question, Luke Adamy went to KB Security and murdered Kane Bullard. Therefore, it's obvious. It would have been impossible for him to have been at the Lordly Taylor at this time. I was confused too. The game is strange. Yeah, exactly. So I just like, and then he's like, he couldn't have been at the Lordly Taylor because he was the murderer. It's like, but aren't we trying to prove that he's the murderer? So I don't understand how. Fuck, dude. Sometimes this game's logic just goes straight out the fucking window. I feel like. Okay. All right, let's just move on. But what does that have to do with the statue being moved? Remember, if you will, Your Honor. When was the statue placed beside the warehouse store? Well, the statue was taken down to the warehouse on the day of the crime. And it was placed there in order to cover up the paint. Exactly. Luke Adamy already decided on the time when he was going to kill the victim. And so, in order to create an alibi for that time, he took this picture days before the murder took place. Which is also weird because pictures have a date time stamp. I don't think they would ever just stamp the time. It's always a date time thing, you know? Like, why would you only have the time? Because he can alter the fucking date stamp, apparently. But no, he can't. Well, yes, he can. Because what he's saying instead of altering the daytime is he took it at a different time of day, right? But it's still, the whole thing was supposed to be that, I don't know, fuck it, dude. It's just, this is so annoying sometimes. What the? Of course, the statue hadn't been moved, or hadn't been brought down to the basement warehouse yet. Ugh. So on the day of the crime, Mr. Adamy must have been quite nervous. As nervous as a long-tailed cat in a rocking chair factory, so to speak. Why? Because something that wasn't supposed to be there had been brought down and placed where it wasn't supposed to be. And that is why Luke Adamy had to move the statue on the night of the murder. He did it to make the room match with the way it had been in his photo. Duh! Order! Mr. Adamy, is this true? So let me ask you a question really quick. Just, I don't know, maybe you guys have picked up on this too, but wasn't there a detail about the picture being printed off by the staff at the Lordly Taylor? Wouldn't they have printed off a picture that was snapped the night of the fucking murder? Because we have a fucking list here that shows when the camera went off. The warehouse camera went off once at around 1 a.m. on the night of the crime. And so the Lordly Taylor, who apparently printed it out, which so says the prosecution, printed out the one from the fucking night before or something? You know? It seems like the prosecution is also in this fucking whole thing too. You know? Because that prosecution had to know that, right? Wouldn't they be the ones that asked the Lordly Taylor to print it out? And even if Adamy did it, like, he didn't do it. It's the Lordly Taylor staff who printed it out. So how would Adamy have gotten a photo from a prior day? You know? Then he printed it out then. Then that was all a fucking lie. But the prosecution was asserting it as though it was fact. So why does the prosecution not have to fucking, you know, prove anything? I don't know. I just feel like that was real wonky, dude. That doesn't make any sense the way that played out. But okay, whatever. We're moving on. I don't need to stand on the soapbox. Sorry. Let's go. Order! Mr. Adamy, is this true? One moment, Your Honor. Have you forgotten this? What's that? The data for the basement warehouse computer. According to this, The camera did indeed go off the night of the crime. It's true that the camera had been set up by the Lordly Taylor staff. However, the program used to manage that data was yours. That alone would have allowed you to tamper with the data. But earlier... I'm not even going to say it. I'm just going to say, but earlier, I think you guys know what I'm pointing out. But earlier, that was fucking refuted. Like, why couldn't we have said that earlier? Because we wouldn't even had to go through the last, like, 5 steps if we just pointed that out way earlier with the whole timestamp. Oh, he can't edit the timestamp because the computer was theirs and the camera was theirs. Order, order. Mr. Godot. What is the meaning of this? Godot is apparently a shitty prosecutor. Godot, I warned you about making me wait. Now put that coffee down. My 11th cup. I promised to drink no more than 17 during a trial. Which means I'm still good till the last drop. However, the defense has a very good point. A good point? So what? We are all but travelers on a road of infinite points.
I think he's got his points mixed up with his other points.
So you say this photograph was taken ahead of time? And that the statue was moved in order to make it match? That's a very interesting idea. However, there's one point that can't be denied.
Which is?
That it's only a possibility. Men that are trapped by the chains of maybe can never reach their dreams. That's very true. No way! Don't fall for that, Your Honor! Hey, Mr. Damask. Yes? If there's no funny business in your action as Master Mask, there should be no problem with you telling us your strategy. So let's hear it. Yes, please provide this court with your testimony about your plan to steal the sacred urn. Alright, we're on to the next testimony. I hope we don't have any stupid ones. Because, gosh, that was weird. That got real weird. Does Godot's mask shoot lasers? Asking for a friend. Right? He looks like Cyclops from X-Men, doesn't he? I totally hear that. He's either Cyclops, or maybe he's Geordie LaForge, or who else wears visors? Any other characters that anybody knows that wears visors? I'm trying to think if I know anymore. I'm sure there are plenty, I just can't think of them. Someone else has to. Those are the only ones I can think of. Right? Yeah. I'm with you, I'm with you. I first received the request from Lordly Taylor about 20 days ago. The urn was placed in a box, and Zavari. It was then sent to the warehouse. Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. I knew it was extremely valuable treasure, so I sent my car 10 days beforehand. But it's not an extremely valuable treasure. It was estimated value at nothing. I then handled security by myself to ensure that my crime would go smoothly. So, because I think part of it is that this is definitely like a setup, the whole crime thing, because the object that he's stealing is worthless, but he doesn't know that because it didn't get appraised until Adrian Andrew got it appraised. But she still tried to act like it was like worth something or whatever. So I think that maybe that's going to be part of it, the fact that it was appraised to be like worthless. But I mean, we'll see. I then handled security by myself to ensure that my crime would go smoothly. At last, I held the urn in my hands for the first time at 1 a.m. on October 12th. Look how like specific he is with the time.
That's pretty much all the stuff we've heard before, isn't it?
Yeah, but we'll find out the truth hidden in the nuggets of new information he gave. Witness, you're sure there are no mistakes this time? Zavari. Very well then. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Got a rogue string coming out of my tie, dude. Just playing with my tie and I found it. Let me cut it real quick. I don't need something to fidget with while I'm playing Phoenix Wright. Boop, got it. The Sacred Urn Heist. I first received the request from Lordly Taylor about 20 days ago. You were asked to guard the urn by Miss Adrian Andrews, is that right? Indeed, it seemed that they had heard of my Zavarkling reputation. Zavarkling? Oh, that's a weird word. That's made up.
I see Miss Andrews is still attracting the weirdos.
You better watch out too, Maya. The urn was placed in a box in Zavari. It was sent to the warehouse. You mean this box? Yes, that pathetic box. Hey, Maya made that. Lady Andrews was especially taken with that urn. And she wouldn't let anyone into the storeroom, not even me.
Huh. Interesting new tidbit.
Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. I'm exhausted. It was a good hanging out, but me and the man are going to wind down to some Law and Order. Sounds good. Thank you all so much for helping me feel better. You are the most amazing. Oh, well, I'm glad you feel better, Shyla. Fuck yeah. Hopefully Law and Order just keeps that ride on the up direction, huh? I will see you tomorrow night. Sounds good. We'll see you for some Cyberpunk tomorrow night, Shyla. Have a good night. Enjoy Law and Order. You too, Ryan, if you can hear me. Have a good night, my man. Since I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. So you're sure that you had never seen the urn before? Indeed. You may ask Lady Andrews to confirm for yourself. My security was focused entirely on the entrance to that warehouse. However, look at me, let no information whatsoever slip through my fingers.
So that's why the box that he had in his arms wasn't covered in paint, I guess, because he didn't know that the actual box had paint on it, I guess, right? Maybe that's when the paint on the box comes in, because I swear, it's gotta come into place. I'm Pime.
I knew it was extremely valuable treasure, so I sent my card 10 days beforehand.
You mean this calling card?
That's right. That is, without a doubt, my calling card.
I guess Mr. Delight didn't make this after all.
Of course, because Atme knew about the emblem. Making this card authentic would have been child's play for him.
I've then handled security by myself to ensure that my crime would go smoothly.
Then no one entered the basement warehouse?
Unfortunately, there were many different treasures being taken there. Thus, for a period of approximately 5 days, people were indeed going in and out of the warehouse. At last, I held the urn in my hands for the first time at 1 a.m. on October 12th.
And this is the photo that proves that, huh?
Indeed. To be honest, even if a photo was taken, I didn't think it would matter terribly much.
Hey, Nick, if this photo is a fake, Detective Abney might have stolen the urn whenever this was taken.
That's true. You know, he's been saying that he never saw the urn until that night. If we can prove that he's lying there, we can wrap this up and put a bow on it. Oh man, that's kind of the opposite of what I thought we were going to do. So we're going to prove that he saw it before that night? Fuck, how do we do that? Fuck, they always go for something way harder than I think they're going to go for. Or at least they don't always, but sometimes. Fuck.
I need to take a good hard look at the court record.
Not a lot to go on, is there?
That detective's been covering his tracks. There's only one thing we need to prove in this cross-examination. That he took this photo well before the actual night of the crime.
Alright then, how do we do that?
There's one thing that Adamy stated very clearly. That he had never seen the urn before he stole it.
We need to prove that he's lying.
It's got to be like the value of it, right? I feel like the only thing I've seen that I could like, I have evidence to press against is the fact that he's like, oh, it's very valuable, but it's not. So. Yeah, I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure. But you're wrong there, bud. Because it was appraised at like 0, right?
Oh shit, it doesn't say that here. They updated when we learned Adrian had fixed it. Fuck. Was it here? No? And the picture doesn't say it in the description. The poster of the treasures of the Korean exhibit. I mean, maybe it still has to do with this photo because of the breakage? The I am versus Amy? Look at I never noticed that picture of Maya in the bottom left of this picture. Isn't that funny? It's just Maya with her little sly face. It's funny. He'd never seen it before, but he would have seen this. But he wouldn't have known that Adrian had fixed it. Especially if he took it way before, because she fixed it, what, 2 weeks before? Okay, when Adrian dropped the urns box 2 weeks ago, she knocked over some paint. 2 weeks is 14 days, but he was called there 20 days. So I guess he would have seen a picture of the urn before it was dropped, at least a few days before, right? At least like 6 max. Something with that. I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure, so I sent my card 10 days beforehand. So he sent the card 10 days beforehand, but she dropped it 2 weeks ago. Let's look at this testimony again. Then I then handled security by myself to ensure that my crime would go smoothly. We got nothing there. Last I held the urn in my hands for the first time at 1 a.m. on October 12th. I don't really have anything to go against that. He just mentions the urn in this message. Last I held the urn in my hands. And so I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. The urn was placed in a box in Zavari. It was then sent to the warehouse. He mentions the urn here as well. He says it was placed in a box and then it was placed in the warehouse. I mean, that almost contradicts the fact that he said he hadn't seen it, but he doesn't have to have seen it to know that that happened, right? First received a request from Lordly Taylor about 20 days ago. Whew. Ah, man, I'm confused. We could try pressing them all again, see if we get anything different. Let's try that real quick. I'm just gonna skip through it, but we don't have to read through them again, just so we can kind of get it a little bit faster here. A guard by Adrian Andrews. Indeed, because of his reputation. See which Andrews still is tracking weirdos. You better watch out too, Maya. Okay, that wasn't much there. Urn was placed in the box. You mean this box? Yes, that pathetic box. Adrian Andrews was especially taken with that urn. And she wouldn't let anyone enter the storeroom, not even me. Huh, interesting new tidbit. She wouldn't let anyone enter the storeroom, even me. That doesn't... I feel like that... They did the little thing that was... So I was like, is that it? And so I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. So you're sure that you had never seen the urn before? Indeed. You may ask Lady Andrews. But he was focused entirely on the entrance to that warehouse. However, I look at me, let no information whatsoever slip through my fingers. You mean this calling card? That's right. I guess Mr. Delight didn't make it after all. Of course, he could have done that. So making this card would have been child's play for him. He handles security himself. He said that no one entered the warehouse. He said, unfortunately, there are a lot of people entering the warehouse. People were indeed going in and out of the warehouse. and then he finally held it. And this is the photo that proves that. Didn't think it would be a matter to my determine. Nick, and this photo is fake. Detective Abney might have stolen the urn whenever this was taken. That's true. You know, he's been saying that he never saw the urn until that night. See, it's all about that. He never saw the urn until that night. And the urn was broken, but in the picture, in the picture it was broken, but the one he stole was fixed. I don't see how that's supposed to connect to anything. I really don't. If we can prove that he's lying there, we can wrap this up and put a bow on it. But how do we prove that? Because he doesn't talk about the condition of the vase or anything. Fuck. I just got to look it up, man. I need a good hard look at the court record and see what, dude? He took the photo well before the actual night of the crime. I mean, it would have to be the fact that the box wasn't dirty, right? I mean... Let me try that. I'll present the box at some point in this testimony, and we'll see if that works. Because I want to present something before I look it up. You know, I want to try. I'm just so fucking confused. There's one thing that Abney is very clearly, he never saw the urn before that. It keeps saying that he never saw the urn, he never saw the urn, he never saw the urn, as if that's supposed to be obvious. I feel like, god damn. The first received the request from Lord Taylor about 20 days ago. The urn was placed in the box, in the warehouse. I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. So this must be what we presented against. Let's go ahead and save. And I'll present the box itself. I just feel like this is not gonna make any sense, but fuck it. Yeah, there we go. Generic statement is generic. Alright, fuck it. I'm gonna look it up, guys. Give me a little hint, please. Oh, man. Oh my god, are you kidding me? This would, I don't think I ever would have guessed it. I honestly don't think I ever would have guessed this one. That's another one that's kind of out there. Okay, let's see. So, let's see. What statement am I supposed to press that against? Hold on one sec. Oh, it can be either 2, 3, 4, or 6. So I can present it on the last one. Well, I don't know if 6 is the last one. Hold up. 1, I can present it here, so we'll do it here. So it says I'm supposed to present. Okay, so here. Let's look at Damask calling card really quick. To the security at Lordly Taylor, I will be coming to purloin the most priceless work of art on display in your Treasures of Curian exhibit. Take good care of the speckled urn, won't you? Yours truly, Mask Damask. So if it doesn't jump out you here, I'm with you. Because I don't think this is enough, but this is the clue. Because it says the speckled urn. When it says speckled, the speckled is the paint, apparently, that's on it. But honestly, you could have a speckled urn, too. Because I don't, you know, it's just an anime. And the urn could just have, like, little imperfections all over it and be speckled, too. You know what I mean? And that's probably what I thought of when I first read this. But apparently it means that there was paint on it. God damn, dude. I would not have thought of that. I would not have thought to present this. For that reason. I had no chance here, dude. Here we go. Oh, we gotta present it, dummy. Sorry that took so long, everyone. We are now continuing. Mr. Adme, if you really are Master Musk, then you also wrote this calling card, correct? But of course. Is there a problem with that calling card? Allow me to read a passage from the calling card that Master Musk had written. That's a small hint of a little clue. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's so out there.
You know, I feel like the fact that there's no paint on the box is a bigger clue here, and I don't know why we haven't addressed that. And I really hope we do address it, because I keep honing in on it. And just for my own sanity, can we please address the fact that the picture doesn't have paint on the box? Take good care of the speckled urn. Now the speckled here certainly refers to the pink pattern on the sacred urn. Yes, that is true. But so what? How do you know that's true, dude? Truth be told, there is no way that Master Moss could have known about this pattern. What do you mean? This pink spotted pattern on the urn is actually nothing more than paint stains. Paint stains? And these stains did not appear until after the urn had been taken to Lordly Taylor. Huh. I'm not finding this joke to be very funny, Mr. Trite. The day that the sacred urn was taken to the warehouse, the urn was broken due to human error, or should I say, an error-prone human. Oh, look at Adrian. She didn't mean to fucking drop it, dude. She's so, like upset right there. Look at her. She's like, oh, no! I like that picture of Adrian. Poor girl. Oh, and then she's so like, oh, no, again! And that's when the pink paint got on the urn. Ugh, you can't be serious. And yet this calling card clearly mentions the paint pattern. It doesn't clearly mention it, Phoenix. Come on, dude. Are you fucking kidding me? Which means Detective Atme had seen this urn long before the crime ever took place. In fact, he saw it when this photo was taken. And because this photo is a fake, your alibi for the night of the murders no longer holds water. I said is in there for no reason, my bad. Whoa! Witness, do you have anything to say for yourself?
All right, that did it. He's broken.
Nick? I think it's still a little early for a victory pose.
Huh? Huh. It's so sad. No one has any conviction these days. Conviction, you say? Yesterday, we all decided unanimously that this man was Master Mosk. And now, you're calling him a murderer. You don't think we're being a tad fickle? That's a good point. Is it a good point, though? Is it, though? No way! Don't fall for that too, Your Honor! You say that Luke Atme was the one who killed Kane Bullard. Then let me ask you this. Why would he do that? We always handle motive last, don't we? An excellent point. Motive, Mr. Wright. Motive. Might you, my merry, murderous motive manifest? What the fuck, dude? That fucked with me.
Nick! He's getting his second wind!
If he prepared an alibi and pinned his crime on Ron Delight, as you say, he must have had a very strong motive for murder. The only one with any motive we've seen is Ron Delight. Isn't that right, Detective? Indeed. According to my own research, the boy's motive is clear. Why would we listen to you? You're a criminal. Without a motive, it's nearly impossible to prove guilt in a murder case. Now then, maybe you can enlighten us as to what the defendant's motives were. I'd be honored to, Sir Old-Timer.
They're doing everything they can to make Ron look suspicious. Despite our lack of hard information, this may be our only chance.
Motive for murder. Hi, Luke Atme had no points of contact with the victim whatsoever. And simply Kane Bullard decided to investigate Master Mosk and simply mistook who he was.
It was Mr. Bullard who wrote the blackmail letter and sent it to Ron Delight. And it was again Mr. Bullard who harbored a grudge against Mr. Delight for his betrayal. Mr. Bullard's mistake is quite excusable. The defendant truly believes he is Master Mask. That is why Mr. Delight saw it fit to kill Kane Bullard. Truly a tragedy. So the victim, King Bullard, blackmailed the defendant. This is the blackmail letter found in the defendant's apartment. A handwriting test confirms that Mr. Bullard was indeed the one who wrote the letter.
What?
Blackmail letter updated in the court record, found in Ron Delight's room, written by Bullard. Very well, Mr. Wright. Begin your cross-examination. I feel like there's a piece of evidence we haven't looked at yet that's really gonna put Luke in some hot water. Let me take a look at it again. I think we're coming up on it, but it wasn't it this thing over here? Kane's list, found on a table at the crime scene. Tear of Emanon, jewel, $100,000. Crown of Bongora. Left hand of Hades, portrait of Magina. I thought there was something different. Was it in the blackmail letter? I swear there was something we got that had something. If you don't, I'll take that red diamond you received the other day instead. Yeah, right? This last statement, isn't that referring to the ring that Luke has? I don't know. You talked about it earlier. I, Luke Atme, had no point of contact with the victim whatsoever. And who in the world is going to prove that? I will. Huh? After doing a thorough background check, Detective Atme and Kane Bullard, we were unable to find any links between them. It's all in the report. Perhaps they were connected through their work. They were both involved in security. Nope. That was blunt. In any case, the only one with a motive was Mr. Delight. Kane Bullard decided to investigate Master Mask and simply mistook who he was. Mistook? That's right, mistook. From the Old Norse mistaka, meaning to take in error. That wasn't what I meant. Just who did the victim mistake Master Mask to be? Why, the answer is obvious. Ron Delight, of course.
Boy, I'd like to wipe that smug look off this guy's face.
We'll go ahead and save, but I'm pretty sure we're just gonna press harder. Why would the victim mistake the defendant for Master Mask? Don't you already know that? Zafari, take a look at this newspaper. Oh, that's the famous Tear of Emanon, a magnificent jewel. That photo shows a magnificent detective as well, does it not? Furthermore, it also shows an ugly guard, namely the defendant. The defendant? The victim clearly misread this article in Zafari. He got the wrong impression. The impression that this ugly security guard was in fact Master Mask. I see.
That was an unusually reasonable deduction.
It was Mr. Bullard who wrote the blackmail letter and sent it to Ron Delight. You mean this blackmail letter, right? It says bring $50,000. And the handwriting is without a doubt the victim's? There is no mistake. We had an official report to prove it. But I don't see an addressee on the letter anywhere.
An addressee?
This letter was discovered by in Ron Delight's apartment. And Mr. Delight did show up at the designated place and time. The fact that there is no addressee is irrelevant.
I wonder.
What's up, Nick?
I just had a thought. What if that blackmail letter wasn't meant for Mr. Delight?
Whoa. Do you have any evidence of that?
For some reason, I just can't shake the feeling that there's something not quite right about this blackmail letter.
Well, everyone, are you quite satisfied? And it was again Mr. Bullard who harbored the grudge against Mr. Delight for his betrayal. What do you mean by that? Oh my, I was certain you were already aware. Zafari.
TB Security has a lot of security info on all sorts of companies. And since I was a security team chief, I stole data from the company.
Kane Bullard had yet to forgive young Mr. Delight, which is why he sent him that letter upon believing he was the thief. Here is a file that we discovered in Mr. Bullard's office. Evidence that Mr. Bullard was receiving money through blackmail. However, isn't that a bit odd? Why did the defendant pay Mr. Bullard the money, even though he wasn't actually mask to mask? On that point, there was an unfortunate bit of chance. Mr. Bullard's mistake is quite excusable. The defendant truly believes he is mask to mask. Do you really think that story is going to hold up? That assertion is not merely my own, I'm afraid. What do you mean? I have here a memo from Ron Delight's wife, Desiree Delight. Why is it playing this song? I did not expect that. Ronnie thinks he's mask to mask. Don't you feel sorry for him? Please don't think too badly of him. It was just for her quote. Huh. Well, Mr. Trite. Was he trying to act like Mr. Light just now?
I thought he was actually pretty convincing.
I didn't even try doing that. That is why Mr. Delight saw it fit to kill Kane Bullard. Truly a tragedy. Now that's just your imagination talking. Come now, sir lawyer. I'm afraid imagination isn't the right word for it. This is a deduction, the result of carefully applied reasoning. Can we hear that careful reasoning for ourselves? It's a long story, and better saved for another time. Very well, another time.
Those so-called long stories aren't usually all that long. At least, not in my experience.
So you're going to try to connect Detective Admi to Mr. Bullard, right?
Yeah, that's right. Hopefully it won't require surgery either.
In that case, you'll have to talk about the blackmail.
That's true.
Was that blackmail letter really intended for Ron?
If we don't have enough information, you should press him for more testimony.
Maybe I'll be able to shake some contradiction loose that way.
All right, we gotta go back around, do it again. I, Luke Atme, had no point of contact with the victim whatsoever. And who in the world is going to prove that? I will. Huh? After doing a thorough background check on Detective Admi and Kane Bullard, we were unable to find any links between them. It's all in the report. Perhaps they were connected through their work. They were both involved in security. Nope. That was blunt. In any case, the only one with a motive was Mr. Delight. Kane Bullard decided to investigate mask to mask and simply mistook who he was. Mistook? That's right, mistook, from the Old Norse misaka, meaning to take an error. That wasn't what I meant. Just who did the victim mistake mask to mask to be? Why, the answer is obvious. Ron Delight, of course. Still says my phone charger appears to be no longer be working. Oh no! Because this whole time I've been watching the stream on the TV, it wasn't actually charging. Oh shit! The charging port is fine because another charger can charge it. If my phone dies, thank you for the stream, Dom, and night all. Okay, sounds good still. I hope it doesn't. I hope we can get to the end of it before it dies on you, but we'll see. I think we are actually ending we're almost at the end of the trial, so it might actually run up just about to 9 o'clock. We'll see. If it doesn't end at 9, it ends at 9, we're just going to start the next one next week, Have a nice new beginning right at the beginning of that stream. But we'll play it by ear. We'll see what happens. Well, the answer is obvious. Ron Delight, of course.
Boy, I'd like to wipe the smug look off this guy's face.
I mean, I pressed harder last time, so this time I should leave it? We'll try that.
I can't stand to hear any more of his long-winded stories. I'll hold off on pressing him further for now.
That's fine. Please continue your testimony.
Aw, I was looking forward to one of those long-winded stories.
It was Mr. Bullard who wrote the blackmail letter and sent it to Ron Delight. See, that didn't seem to give me anything, not pressing. You mean this blackmail letter right here? It says bring $50,000. And the handwriting is without a doubt the victim's? There's no mistake. We have an official report to prove it. But I don't see an addressee on this letter anywhere.
An addressee?
This letter was discovered in Ron Delight's apartment, and Mr. Delight did show up at the designated place and time. The fact that there is no addressee is irrelevant.
I wonder.
What's up, Nick?
I just had a thought. What if that blackmail letter wasn't meant for Mr. Delight?
Whoa. Do you have any evidence of that?
For some reason, I just can't shake the feeling that there's something not quite right about this blackmail letter.
Well, everyone, are you quite satisfied? I feel like it's the mention about the ring, but pressing him has not done anything so far. But we've got a few more to press, so we'll see what happens. And it was again Mr. Bullard who harbored the grudge against Mr. Delight for his betrayal. What do you mean by that? Oh my, I was certain you were already aware. Safari.
KB Security has a lot of security info on all sorts of companies. And since I was a security team chief, I stole data from the company.
Kane Bullard had yet to forgive young Mr. Delight, which is why he sent him that letter upon mistakenly believing he was the thief. Here's a file that we discovered in Mr. Bullard's office. Evidence that Mr. Bullard was receiving money through blackmail. However, isn't this a bit odd? Why did the defendant pay Mr. Bullard the money, even though he wasn't actually Master Mask? On that point, there was an unfortunate bit of chance. Mr. Bullard's mistake is quite excusable. The defendant truly believes he is Master Mask. Do you really think that story is going to hold up? That assertion is not merely my own, I'm afraid. What do you mean? I have here a memo from Ron Delight's wife, Desiree Delight. Ronnie thinks he's Master Mask. Don't you feel sorry for him? Please don't think too badly of him. Ha! Well, Mr. Trite. Was he trying to act like Mr. Light just now?
I thought he was actually pretty convincing.
That is why Mr. Delight saw it fit to kill Kane Bullard. Truly a tragedy. It's been exactly the same. You told me to press again, and we're not getting anything, game. You're not giving me anything. Now that's just your imagination talking. Come now, sir lawyer. I'm afraid imagination isn't the right word for it. This is a deduction, the result of carefully applied reasoning. Can we hear that carefully applied reasoning ourselves? It's a long story, and better saved for another time. Very well. Another time.
Those so-called long stories aren't usually all that long. At least, not in my experience.
So you're going to try to connect Detective Admi to Mr. Bullard, right?
Yeah, that's right. Hopefully it won't require surgery either.
In that case, you'll have to talk about the blackmail.
That's true.
Was that blackmail letter really intended for Ron?
Because we don't have enough information, you should press him for more testimony.
I already did that, Maya. I already did that. I'm not getting anything. What do you want?
Maybe I'll be able to shake some contradictions loose that way.
I don't fucking know. Wow, this is so fucking weird. Okay. I'm looking up the answer. Statement 3, okay. So in statement 3, we need to present the blackmail letter itself. So statement 3 is, it was Mr. Bullard who wrote the blackmail letter and sent it to Ron Delight. So it's the fact that it was sent to Ron Delight, I guess. So I think it is I think it is homing in on this bottom statement here. If you don't, I'll take that red diamond you received the other day instead. So I was right about that. I guess it seems weird to press it anywhere in here, but okay. Fair enough. I was on the right track, just didn't quite know how to get on. So, it's alright. Mind if I ask a few questions, Detective Atme? Well, if it's just a few, I guess it's alright. When you said that this letter was addressed to Ron Delight, I couldn't help but notice one major contradiction. Contradiction? I don't know where a walking contradiction like you gets off saying things like that.
You're one to talk.
At times like these, men are made to express themselves with their fists. Why don't you show us what you've got there, Junior? Indeed. Time to man up, Mr. Wright. Show us the contradicting evidence in the content of the blackmail letter. And then it somehow contradicts with this newspaper clipping, simply because there's a blue diamond on here. So, yeah. I can't say I follow it. Let me read this one more time to see if it explains it for me. Okay, yeah, I don't know. I don't really agree with how any of this is going, but we just present this. I can't. I don't know. You'll see what happens. Take a good look at this newspaper clipping. It contains a picture of the Tear of Emanon, the stolen jewel. Well, what about it? The problem is this jewel's color. Color? I'm not much for discussing color myself. Probably because you see everything in red, dude. According to the clipping, the color of the stolen jewel was blue. However, in the blackmail letter, a totally different jewel is mentioned. I'll take that red diamond you received the other day. Red? Which means the red diamond described in the blackmail letter is not the Tear of Emanon the Master Mask stole at all. But what? So maybe he stole multiple things. I just don't understand why it... And your point is, Mr. Trite? So you are trying to say that this blackmail letter was intended for someone else? That is what you're trying to say, right, Trite? That is what you're trying to say, right, Mr. Wright?
Well, is that what you're trying to say? Right, Nick?
Yes. I like how they're all, is that what you're trying to say? Is that what you're trying to say? Is that what you're trying to say? That's fun. This is who Kane Bullard was actually blackmailing. And it's going to be, look at me, dude. Naturally. It was you, Detective Atme. Do you have some sort of basis for that claim? You have been personally involved in every single Master Moss case. And in the last case, you recovered what was stolen and received a jewel as your reward. A jewel? Probably the one wrapped conspicuously around your finger. That red diamond ring. That is the diamond referred to in the letter. Which means that Kane Bullard wrote that letter in order to blackmail you. Ah! Order in the court. Order, I say. It seems you've gone too far with your childish pranks, Mr. Trite.
Uh-oh. I don't like the way you said that.
Kane Bullard blackmailing Luke Adme? Are you for real? Yes, I am.
Nick, come on, stand up to him.
Then answer me this. The blackmail letter contains the following passage. If you don't want your identity revealed to the world. Yes, it certainly does. Kane Bullard threatened to take Luke Atme's identity public knowledge. And make it public knowledge. An identity he wanted to keep a secret. So just what was that identity?
Atme killed Kane Bullard because he was afraid of his secret becoming known. What was the identity he wanted to keep secret?
This is what it all comes down to, Nick.
The identity that Luke Atme wanted to keep so desperately, keep secret was his identity as Ace Detective, as Master Mask, as a blackmailer. I guess as a blackmailer? Because it wouldn't have done anything with the Ace Detective thing. He's not Master Mask. But he was a blackmailer. I think what we're saying here is that if we say a blackmailer, we're saying that Luke Atme was blackmailing Ron to get him to commit the crimes. And then when it got to the point where he needed to frame, where he got blackmailed from the KB security guy, he decided to use that to try to frame Ron instead of himself for the murder and get himself the easier sentence of theft, I guess, or larceny, I guess. So I think that's what we're saying here as a blackmailer. I did not look this up. This is totally just me trying to figure this out. So if I'm wrong, that's me. Luke Atme was a blackmailer.
Objection!
Hey now, isn't that a little different from what you've been saying? You said that Kane Bullard was the one blackmailing Luke Atme. Are you saying that Atme was blackmailing someone else on top of that?
You have to admit, that does sound a little odd.
It's not odd. It's the only thing that makes any sense. Kane Bullard was blackmailing Luke Atme. But Ron Delight was also being blackmailed by a certain someone. So did you start let me put this in the past.
So, did you start receiving blackmail letters after this incident? Yes, just a few days after the Tear of Emanon heist. After that, I started getting the plans in the mail. I received plans from some very kind person. Incredibly detailed plans.
Detailed plans? In which case, that would mean that Ron Delight was actually Master Mask. That is what we are claiming. Someone else came up with the plans and Mr. Delight, and had Mr. Delight steal his targets for him. And that someone was none other than Luke Atme. Shh! Silence! Now I see. It's all becoming clear. What is? When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Careless, with a tendency to jump to conclusions. Am I wrong? How did you? Nice one. You say that I, Luke Atme, was blackmailing Ron Delight. In which case, I would naturally know all about his relation to Master Mask. Well, yes. Ron Delight started receiving plans from his second crime onward, correct? Which means I learned of his identity when he committed the first crime. Good point. You certainly couldn't have blackmailed him otherwise. In that case, let's see some hot, bitter evidence.
During the first crime, how did Luke Adme know that Ron Delight was Master Mask? Okay, I don't know this one. How did he know? The only thing I could think of was a newspaper clipping because it shows both of them in the picture. Is there any other way, though? The only thing I think of is it would be the newspaper clipping. So I think I'm going to show the newspaper clipping, but I'm just going to go ahead and check real quick. Let's see what we got. Yep, I was right. I think I see it. See what? When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Gets into lots of mischief trying to be the center of attention. What do you mean? This newspaper clipping. It has a picture of you and Ron Delight in this guard uniform. Seems that Master Mask didn't just disappear into thin air. He just took off his outfit and hid it in a bucket. That sounds far too stupid to be true. Correct. With tricks like that, he couldn't fool a baby, let alone an ace detective. And that's when you figured it out, Mr. Adme. That's when you learned that under his mask, Master Mask was really Ron Delight. What the? Wasn't he supposed to be Master Mask? Not only that, he looks like he wasn't even an ace detective. I can't believe it. He was just a slimy blackmailer. What a fraud, trying to pass himself off as an ace detective. Why, you? How dare you expose me like that? Why, I mean, I've never blackmailed anyone in my life. I'm famous and proud ace detective, and also Master Mask. Why can't you understand that? I'm afraid you are neither a proud thief nor an ace detective. You're a blackmailer and a murderer. That is your true identity. Why, you? How dare you even dare imply? Could fall yourself with those big mouths of yours. I say none of you can I can't even keep up with it. I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying. Ace detective, blackmail. It's enough to make one laugh. God, I could not keep up with that. He's just rambling. It would seem we finally arrived at the real answer.
That was quite a performance by Sir Adme.
Bailiff, please prepare a cell for Mr. Adme.
What? Godot?
The hammer that strikes too fast has no time to aim. That wasn't a bad metaphor. I like that one. What do you mean? I'm already prepared to deliver my ruling. Allow me to say one thing. I will be the one to judge. Huh?
You don't get much more in your face than that.
It appears that your claws weren't quite sharp enough, Mr. Trite.
What do you...
It's true that you've proven a lot of things. Things like Luke Adme was a filthy blackmailer. And that he wasn't at Lordly Taylor that night of the murder.
That's right. That's why he's the one who killed Mr. Bull.
But there's still one thing you have yet to prove. What's that? Just because he wasn't at the warehouse doesn't mean he was at the murder scene. Therefore, if you can't prove that this pitiful excuse for a man was at KB Security, then I don't see how a verdict can be delivered.
No way!
Order in the court. Well, Mr. Wright?
This is it. This is the final round.
You know what that means. Scum save.
I've got to prove that Adme was at Mr. Bullard's office on that night.
But can you really prove that?
That's long enough, Mr. Trite. I want to hear your answer.
That night, Luke Atme was at KB Security and the defense can prove it. How would I prove it? Let me look through some stuff here real quick. Not gonna look it up yet. So we gotta be able to prove that Luke Atme was at KB Security that night. Ah, fuck. What do we got? Honestly, I don't see how we have any evidence that proves that. Yeah, we don't have anything that proves that. Like, certainly not, dude. I mean, but we must, right? Okay, we're just gonna go with can't prove it then. All right, back. Can't prove it because we don't have anything, dude. I can't prove it.
Just as I thought.
But if we hear more of Detective Atme's testimony,
Unfortunately, that's as far as you go, Mr. Trite.
you don't run this courtroom. Fuck you. Way to pull Von Karma. What do you mean?
I won't allow for any more testimony. That's what I mean.
Why does the prosecution get to decide? I feel like it should be like the judge that allows it, right? And the prosecution can request it? I don't know. What?
Have you forgotten? Luke Atme is here after we interrupted his own trial. And you have failed to prove that he committed the murder. I think it's time for this witness to return to his own trial and face his guilty verdict as Master Musk.
No!
Well now, Sir Lawyer, it seems that love wins out in the end after all. I am the ace detective as well as Master Musk. My verdict will verify that. Just as Ron Delight will verify that he is the true murderer. I declare that with the full force of my ace detectiveness. Order, order in the court. That's enough deliberation over the witness.
I can't believe this. At this rate, Ron is...
Don't give up now, Nick. We still have tomorrow. We can look for more evidence and...
By then, it'll be too late.
Huh? Why?
Double jeopardy. One of the basic rules of any court of law.
Double jeopardy?
Should a defendant be tried and found innocent in court, that defendant cannot be tried again for the same crime. This is a fundamental rule of all courts. And it applies to this witness as much as it applies to anyone else. Mr. Atme will be found guilty in a matter of minutes. Guilty as Master Musk, which means...
This is really weird because it's like Godot is doing the thing that all the other prosecutors do before they realize that they're assholes and they're bad guys, is that he is just trying to win. He doesn't care about what the truth is. He's like, oh, nope, I'll just win on a technicality. Hold on. You know what I mean? I feel like that's what he's doing right now. He's like, nope, I have a way of winning this no matter what, so we're just going to stop. I won't let you give you the chance to actually prove it. I'm just going to send it back over there so we can get a double jeopardy safety. It's like, that's not cool. It's not cool, Mr. Godot. You're one of the bad ones.
Guilty as Master Musk, which means... he will be innocent as far as the murder of Kane Bullard is concerned.
No way!
The fact that you were unable to prove Mr. Atme's guilt of that crime here means that he will never again be tried as Kane Bullard's murderer.
What? No, man, we got the Phoenix's fucking hopeless pose.
Now there's nothing I can possibly do to win. Even if Ron is proclaimed to be innocent. The real killer, Luke Atme, will go free.
You have cross-examined every statement the witness has made here today. And as long as there is no more testimony, I'm afraid I have to declare that there will be no further questioning of this witness. Are there any objections? Then I hereby end the cross-examination of Luke at me. Oh. Huh. Could that have either have been Desiree, or I'm just trying to think about the voice actress who did the objection. I could see it being maybe Desiree, because she would be another woman in this case that was sort of involved. Or it kind of sounds like Von Karma, but wouldn't that be crazy for Von Karma to randomly show up? I don't know. We'll see who it is.
I think I see it. Your Honor, when you are a child, this is what was on your report card every year. Has poor hearing and often makes mistakes as a result.
How did you?
I love that. How did you? It's like, how did you know? Every time they nail it.
Phoenix, raise your head up high. Have you forgotten what I used to tell you? A lawyer is someone who smiles no matter how bad it gets.
That's Mia. Mia says that.
What? No way. That voice. No way!
Okay, so no, it was Maya channeled Mia and Mia objected? That's happened before. I'm surprised I didn't think of that possibility, you dunce. Good job, Dom. There it is. We haven't seen Maya be Mia in a long time. I guess the last few times, like all last game, it was always Pearls, dude, which was hilarious.
Long time no see, Phoenix.
Mia!
This is the true power of the Korean channeling technique. I know that it's really Maya who's standing before me, but right now, she's my mentor, Mia Fey.
Now, let's do this. But there's nothing more we can do, Mia. Without any more testimony, I can't cross-examine. Not yet. The testimony's not over yet. What do you mean? Your Honor, just now you said something very interesting. You have cross-examined every statement the witness has made here today.
Yes, that's true, but...
Unfortunately, Your Honor, you're forgetting something. Earlier, after the last cross-examination, this witness made a number of remarks.
Well now, Sir Lawyer, it seems that love wins out in the end after all.
I fucked up the pedal there a little bit.
I am the ace detective as well as Master Mosk. My verdict will verify that. Just as Ron Delight will verify that he is the true murderer. I declare that with the full force of my ace detectives.
Yes, but these comments appear to have no importance whatsoever.
Very well. Then we shall prove their importance via cross-examination. At any rate, as long as the witness has made these remarks, we, the defense, assert our right to question them. Is that all right with you, prosecutor?
Is something the matter, Mr. Godot? Nothing.
Oh, Sir Lawyer, it looks like you're one step too late.
If you think such falsehoods will do anything to me, Lucat.
Let's hear it.
Huh?
It's true that the witness made some remarks. So then, let's hear this last bit of cross-examination.
Mr. Godot, what are you? Very well then, Mr. Lucat me. I'm going to allow the defense to cross-examine your earlier remarks.
The defense would like to hear why you declared the defendant to be the true murderer.
So please, give us one last bit of testimony.
Phoenix, this is it. This is our absolute last chance. Yes, Chief.
God, Mia's a fucking master, dude. The last testimony.
Indeed, it is true that I was not at Lordly Taylor. I had to leave to see about another vitally important job request. I had known about the date beforehand, so I had this photograph readied. My brilliant deduction was that what informed me that the true culprit was Ron Delight. And thanks to the key card and wallet, it was abundantly clear that he was there. I was also unable to make a deduction from the buzzer, which only sounded once. The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? The victim would have left fingerprints if he sounded it, which means the killer sounded it. Mr. Delight was wearing his Master Mosk outfit, which is why he left no prints. And the blackmail letter? The victim likely just mistook the color of the jewel. Zavare. Therefore, all the evidence points to that poor boy. But you don't give him a reason for pushing the button, though. I mean, you just kind of breeze over that, dude. I don't know if that really checks out.
This testimony actually seems to hold up pretty well.
How so? The witness's earlier remarks do not appear to have been hastily prepared. All of his points have been explained, and none of them seem to contradict anything. Except for his motive for pressing the button. But of course. But how did you know about the emergency buzzer? The police investigation documents went directly through me. And I always look over the documents. It's elementary, sir lawyer. Ah. Are you going to make even more trouble for us now, sir lawyer? I will not allow any more unusual shenanigans, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. We cannot postpone Luke Atomy's trial any longer. This is your last chance. Anytime they say it's last chance or anything, I always say.
Hang on a sec. Just one chance?
Ha! It seems that the party's about to begin.
Well, Phoenix, there isn't any evidence that contradicts with that testimony. So it would seem. What do you mean, so it would seem? Listen, Phoenix, pointing out contradictions doesn't always mean you have to present evidence, does it? At any rate, this is our last chance. If you can't point out a case-breaking contradiction, you lose. That's all there is to it.
Cup number 17, the last cup. It seems like the time has come to put an end to this trial.
I have to find a fatal contradiction in his testimony. And I need to point it out without presenting evidence. Which means all I can do is find the contradictory remark and press it.
Remember, you only get one chance.
Very well then, Mr. Wright. Please begin your final cross-examination. Alright, since we went through a lot of dialogue and now we're doing the cross-examination, I only get one press. We're gonna save again. Indeed, it is true that I was not at a lordly tailor.
So if I press, is it gonna be bad? It doesn't show the red thing on my health bar, but they said I only have one chance, so I guess I'll just move on. I'm gonna go with the whole one chance thing. I'm gonna assume that it would be bad. So we'll just read through his whole testimony and try to pick the one to press. Okay, indeed, it is true that I was not a lordly tailor. I had to leave to see about another vitally important job request. I had known about the date beforehand, so I had this photograph readied. My brilliant deduction was that what informed me that true culprit was Rhonda Light. And thanks to the key card and wallet, it was abundantly clear that he was there. I was also able to make a deduction from the buzzer, which only sounded once. The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? The victim would have left prints as he sounded it, which means the killer sounded it. And why would the killer sound it? I feel like that's the contradiction, right? Mr. Delight was wearing his Mask to Mask outfit, which is why he left no fingerprints. Let me go back to this one. The killer sounded it. Why would the killer sound it? Unless he was trying to frame someone or whatever. Like, our story is better than his when it comes to that, so we're gonna press this one. Mr. Atney, about this last remark.
You still don't get it, do you? Trite. This isn't the time to be pressing the witness on every little statement.
What?
I said this before. There's still no thing you haven't proven. Or there's still one thing you haven't proven. That this scum was in Kane Bullard's office that night. And now, it's time for me to drink my last cup. Oh, man, he just chugs it. Mr. Wright, I will hold you to your end of the bargain.
Oh, shit. That really wasn't the right one.
That's enough. This court sees no reason to further prolong this trial. Nor is there any reason for more time to decide this case against the defendant. This case is extremely clear. I see no room for misinterpretation of the facts. This court finds the defendant Rhonda Light.
So I guess I fucked up, huh? I picked the wrong one. There you go.
The accused will surrender to the court immediately, to be held pending trial at the higher court within a month from today's date. That is all. The court is adjourned.
So when do I get to load back into my file? There we go. That's never happened before. Continue. So that wasn't the one? How did that not have the contradiction in it? That's the weird part. I swore that had the contradiction, man. Alright, I'm just gonna go ahead and look it up. Ah, okay. This is one I could have figured out. My bad. I was so, like, dialed into that, like, why would the killer press the button? Because I feel like that's a pretty good thing to, like, bring up here. Like, how is that part of your deduction? Why would the killer press the button? But he is right that we're supposed to try to, like, place him there somehow. So the whole point was the fact that he knew that Ron was in his costume. Because he said the victim would have left the fingerprints, because the killer sounded it is the next one. I was one off. Mr. Delight was wearing his Master Mask outfit, which is why he left no prints. So the point here, why we're pressing this one, is because Ron didn't admit that he was wearing his outfit until he was in court earlier. At the same time, Atme was also on trial in the other room. So Atme couldn't have known that he was wearing his Master Mask outfit unless he was there. So that's why we gotta press this one. So there you go. I think I could have figured that out, but hey, you know, can't win them all. Mr. Atme, about this last remark. You still don't get it, do you, Trite? Did I pick the wrong one? I swore that's the one he said. We'll just see. Maybe it just starts the same way. This isn't the time to be pressing the witness on every little statement. Yes, Phoenix stands tall here. I'm afraid you're the one who still doesn't get it, Mr. Godot. What? Mr. Atme, it seems you have finally admitted that you were in the CEO's office on the night of the murder. How can you say that? Let's review your testimony, shall we, Mr. Atme? The button did not have any fingerprints on it. Why? Mr. Delight was wearing his Master Mask outfit, is that correct? Indeed, that's what I said. My deductions are all absolutely foolproof. More like your deductions prove that you're a fool. I'm sorry? Whatever do you mean? For some reason, I'm starting to get really thirsty. When exactly did we learn the fact that Ron Delight was dressed as Master Mask when he went to the scene of the crime? That was, it was just a few hours ago. Back when my sixth cup was looking at me with a cold stare.
Huh? Oh, did I forget to mention it before? I'm sorry. I just never had a chance to mention it up until now.
That's right. The defendant had yet to tell anyone else this fact before this morning. Therefore, the only people who should know this are those who have been watching this trial. Meaning all of you guys. Yeah. Do you understand now, Detective Atme? There is no way that you should have known about that. You were in the next courtroom being tried as Master Mask. So then, enlighten us. Just how did you know about that piece of information? Well... Come on. This detective must have known about it. He probably had plenty of chances to find out beforehand. And it's those chances that I want to discuss next. That night, Mr. Delight was wearing his Master Mask outfit. There is one and only one way for Detective Atme to have found that out. Only one? One way, you say? Please recall, if you will, Mr. Delight's testimony.
When he entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there.
For a second, my client witnessed the real killer. But Mr. Delight never saw his attacker, so there's no way to tell whether
whether or not the real killer was Luke Atme. It's with that statement that I'll turn this case on its head. Just what are you implying? Mr. Delight saw the real killer, correct? Now if you turn that statement around, it stands to reason that the real killer had also seen Ron Delight. Impossible. There he is. The silhouette the whole time. We always knew it was him. They weren't trying to throw a fast one in front of us, or a red herring. Detective Atme, you saw Master Mosk at the murder scene that night. You saw him when you killed Kane Bullard and assaulted Ron Delight. That was the only way you could have known what Ron was wearing. No, whoa, what the fuck? Earthquake, dude. No, what the fuck? He's about to explode or something? Yeah! Take a good look, everyone. Unable to find a rival worthy of my genius, I was forced to create one myself. Here I am, the tragic clown. Pagliacci. That's the same line you gave yesterday. But I think there's a little more meaning behind it this time. Hey, Stella said hello. What's up, Stella? Did you have to come back, Stella?
Hey, May.
Glad to know you're still here.
How's it going? Hey, May. How's it going?
Hell yeah. What an awfully complicated incident. Everyone has enough juice to turn back on. Nice. Oh, you got here just for the end, Stella. Kane Bullard was blackmailing Luke Atme, who was in turn blackmailing Ron Delight. And upon killing his blackmailer, Luke Atme tried to frame Ron Delight. He then claimed to be guilty as Master Mosk in order to escape his true crime. And to that end, he came up with his plan. To use the double jeopardy rule when making his alibi. At any rate, it would seem we finally found the truth. Excuse me. I came perilously close to besmirching the record of an innocent young man. Besmirching him with the title of murderer. Don't ignore me! No, I didn't realize you were there.
Why wouldn't he be?
This is a crazy case. Yeah, it was crazy, but I gotta say, I don't think it was as fun as some of the prior ones, though. Like, it's got some cool stuff that happened in it, but I think overall, it's not my favorite. You know what I mean? Like, maybe if we would have saw Old Bag, that could have helped. Just saying. Maybe a little lot of heart up in here. About the verdict. I know. You never committed any murder. That's right. I'm so glad you understand that, but I really am Master Mosk. Huh? So, thanks to that trial yesterday, I'm innocent now, right? What was it you said? Double jeopardy? Because we've also given him double jeopardy. Because we found him not guilty of stealing, so he can't be tried for it again, even though now we know he's the one that stole it. So Ron totally got out of this with the same strategy that Luke Atme was trying to use the entire time. It backfired, and he gave his entire strategy to Ron. Oh, man. Ron got lucky this time. Now that you mention it, I've been careless.
Careless?
What do you think, Mia? As the defendant says, the rule of double jeopardy is absolute. A defendant can never be tried twice for a crime in which he was once found innocent. Then, Master Mosk is really innocent? It would seem so. For now.
For now?
The thing is, was he like being tried for every like theft? I guess the last trial against Master Mosk must have been like for all of the heists that he's done. So that means that he exonerates him from all of the heists, from everything he ever stole. I guess. But I mean, he was being blackmailed, so I mean, fair enough, I guess there perhaps. So maybe that's actually like justice in a way. I don't know. Now then, this court finds the defendant. Yay, the children are happy too!
Boy, this is really lucky. Wait, this isn't so good after all. You see, this thing is... I still am Master Musk after all. October 14th, 3:35 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 4. You did it, Phoenix. Thanks, Mia. It's been a long time, hasn't it? Yeah, it's because Maya doesn't call on me much these days. Oh? I'm just joking, Phoenix. Don't take everything so seriously. But on the other hand, Maya, she seems kind of torn these days. You mean about becoming the master of the Korean channeling school? Becoming the master means saying goodbye to our mother. Misty Faye, right? Watch over her, will you, Phoenix? Of course. Well then, see you around. She fades away.
Mia.
Ah, Mr. Wright. I don't know what to say. Congratulations, Mr. Delight. Thank you so much. No, wait. Nothing really matters anymore, though. Now that all of this has...
Come on! Just be happy already!
Maya.
You've been cleared of the murder charges and got off as Master Mosk to boot.
But in exchange, I lost everything.
Huh? What do you mean?
I guess Desiree would leave him, right? Stealing security information from KB Security, becoming Master Mosk. I did it all for one reason. For her. You mean your wife, Desiree? She hates criminals more than anything.
Come to think of it, she was once held hostage by some robbers, wasn't she?
She always said how she hated sneaky criminals. I knew that, but once I got fired from KB Security and lost all the money I had, she wouldn't have any reason to stay with me. I thought she would leave me for sure. So that's why you became Master Musk? Yes, but it's all over now. A broken bowl can never be put back together.
That's not true, right, Nick?
Right. Really? Can we go back to being the way things were?
You'll be fine, and Nick can prove it.
I can? Kinda wish you would just check with me first.
Mr. Delight, even if a bowl is broken, there is always a way to put it back together. I feel like we would show the urn, but I'm gonna look it up because I want to get this right. I want to get this one correct. Okay, yeah, I'm right. Take that! The sacred urn. Desi was the one who found this. Desiree, your wife. She's always believed in you, Ron. That's why you'll be fine. You don't have to worry about anything. Ah, there you are. Miss Delight. You did it, Ronnie. You're innocent. I'm so happy. Thank you. I appreciate that. But, I suppose you don't want anything more to do with me, do you? Ronnie, why didn't you talk to me about what was going on? I had no idea you'd quit KB Security. I never imagined that you were really Master Musk either.
Mr. Light, what are you going to do, now that you know? You are not going to really leave him, are you?
Come on, it's obvious, isn't it? How could I ever let a wonderful man like him get away? After all, my bike's really fast. So fast that there's no way he could ever get away. But didn't you say that you hated criminals? Oh, I only hate people who act all cowardly and sneaky. Like that detective. I see. My Ronnie went and declared his crimes before he committed them, like a man. I just love a man who's so chivalrous.
Chivalrous?
I knew I was right about you. Every day I spend with you is filled with thrills and excitement. Desi.
Desiree, you really do love Ron, don't you?
Nicky boy. Yes? I'm really glad I asked you to defend my Ronnie. Thank you so much. I'll never forget what you've done for us. Oh, well, Take care of yourself.
You too, Nicky boy.
Gulp. I can feel my face going red.
Mr. Nick, Mystic Maya, congratulations!
Talk about bad timing.
Mr. Nick, with another man's wife in front of Mystic Maya. No, 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 no. I'll never forgive you, never, ever.
She's just smacking the shit out of Phoenix. It's so funny how she gets so jealous for Maya. I think that's so funny. So just as the case came to a close, so did my consciousness. Ron said, a broken bowl can never be put back together. But I know that's not true. I mean, just look. Oh, look how cute that is. Here's a perfect example of one that's been put back together, even better than before. That is fucking adorable. The stolen turnabout. It's so funny how they just call everything turnabout. Like, I feel like it was supposed to be like a callback at some point, but now is everything's turnabout? Pearls is a great character. Lol, slap. Yeah, she's like, slap, 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 slap. In front of a Mystic Maya with another man's wife. A brand new episode has been added. Recipe for a turnabout. Everything is a turnabout. It's so funny that they always call everything a turnabout. And so what do we got here? We got some images for a little sneak trailer next time. So we got Maya, first of all, in like a waitress outfit or a maid outfit or something. I'm going to guess more like waitress or something. Not quite sure. And then we got some other girl in the same type of outfit in the bottom right. And then in the top right, we got Phoenix looking like he's across the table from some guy who's got a fucking scouter on from DBZ. So maybe he can tell Phoenix's power level. I don't know what this is in front of Phoenix. It looks like almost like a decorative box of some sort or something. It looks like Phoenix is in a chair. Almost looks like it's like a poker game of some sort. I don't see any chips or anything though, so interesting. Well, we'll get to that next week, huh? It's funny how it says saving, do not turn off power, and then I save, and then asks me to save, and I save manually. What the fuck? Phoenix is over 9,000! Probably. He ought to be. All right, well, that's what we're going to call it tonight, ending at a pretty good time, you know, maybe a little bit earlier than the latest we usually go, but that's going to work for me. All right, guys, so thanks for hanging out tonight. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys had a good one. I enjoyed it. You know, it's not my favorite case. I can definitely say that. It's not my favorite, but I think it was a good case overall, though. A lot of cool twists and turns and everything. I like that it started without a murder, that actually started with the theft first, and then how it twisted into the murder was really cool. So I really like how that worked. That was probably my favorite part about the whole thing. But I don't know, Ron, maybe Ron just wasn't a strong enough character or something. I mean, like, literally and figuratively. I think what other, like, problems I had with it. Because, I mean, it's not like it was bad. It's not like a bad episode of Phoenix Wright. It just wasn't my favorite, I guess. I feel like we really didn't get to know that many people. We only investigated maybe twice. And it was like the first one was for the theft and the second one was for the murder. I guess I'm usually used to like it being the murder one and we have 2 investigation periods. And maybe that's why it felt different. Maybe that's what I prefer, I guess. I'm not sure. But either way, I'm excited for next week. We've got a few more in this game too. Let me see. How many more cases do we have in this game? 3 more. 3 more. We have Recipe for a Turnabout, and then 2 other ones that I won't tell you the names of quite yet. And the last one is long as fuck. It's gonna be like, let's see. I'm making an assumption about how many of these I can get through. Maybe 1 stream, 2 streams, 3 streams, 4 streams, maybe 5 streams, just for that one last case. And there's one of them that's super short too, but that one is like epically long. And the next one's probably like a regular size one, I would say. So I think we got a lot of good content to come, guys. So I'm excited. And of course, after we finish this game, we're just gonna go on to some more Ace Attorney content. So hopefully with Phoenix Wright. I don't know how many more Phoenix games there are after this trilogy. I really need to do some research on that. I guess now that we're coming close to the end of it, I really should get on that. And so I can find out, because I'd like to do all the Phoenix stuff if we can. But if there's like a chronological order that is maybe like suggested or preferred by the community that likes this game,
I'll probably go with that, you know, in case we do have to, like, maybe go back. Maybe, because maybe they go to Apollo Justice and then they swing back around to Phoenix at one point. I don't know. Yeah, we'll find out. One case, 5 streams, I'm down. Hell yeah. I think it's going to be a great one. I mean, if it's that long, you know there's going to be twists and turns at every fucking stream, right? Hell yes. All right, guys. Well, to close down the stream here, just got a couple things I got to plug. Obviously, we got some Strange Planet merch if you guys want to check out any Strange Planet merch. There's a link in the description. We also have some Domm Dynamite merch if you guys would like to check that out. The command's always ! Merch, so there's that. There's both stores right there in the chat if you guys want to check it out. We got various things, you know, you got from throw pillows to tumblers to long sleeve sweatshirts to short sleeve shirts to pullovers to zip ups, all sorts of stuff. And we're working on hats, so hopefully hats will come in the future as well. So definitely check those out, guys. We also have community nights. Let me pull the slideshow over to that real quick. We also have a quiz night, which is going to be our community night, March 26th. So if you guys want to be a part of that, you have to join the Discord. It all is going to happen in the Discord. It is not done on stream. And it's where all of us in the community, in the Strange Planet community, so that means Noah, me, Papa, Aaron, and Dan, we all come together, and, you know, we try to get all of us. Sometimes, you know, maybe a couple of are missing, but we try to get all of us together, and we play a game, or we watch a movie, or something. We do something together. And so what we're doing is a quiz night for this month, so we'd really like you guys to join in on that. If you are interested in joining in on that, and you're not in the Discord, what you'll need to do is click that link in the chat to join the Discord. Once you're there, you'll be presented with a post where you'll get to react to it. Look for my logo, click on my logo, and then you'll get to see all of my stuff. Look for that Strange Planet logo and click on that logo, and you'll get to see all the community stuff. And if you're interested in following any of the other guys, which I really suggest that you do, click on the logos as well. So for every logo you click, you get to see the section for that streamer. So we have a conjoined Discord for that. And once you're there, you can see at the very top we'll have event one event that'll say at the top. You click on that guy, and then you can click on interested, and then bing bang boom. You're in for community night. You'll get a notification and everything for it. So there you go. Yeah, Stella says community nights are super fun. So there you go. There's a testimony right there in the chat. Oh, this way. In the chat right there. So there you go. Other than that, we got Strange Planet schedule. Let me guys show you that to you guys real quick. Here we go. This is the Strange Planet schedule for everybody. So let's see where we're at. We're on Thursday. So after my stream tonight, we should have Papa. He should have already started streaming. So we'll probably go ahead and rate it in him tonight. He streams just after me, and then after Papa tonight, we would normally swing back into Noah, but Noah is not streaming on Thursdays and Fridays, just to let you guys know, because he's in a musical that he has to rehearse for on Thursdays and Fridays. So unfortunately, he doesn't get to do those streams at the moment. But yeah, there you go. And then after Papa, the next stream after that, I guess I should say, should be Aaron or Panda Alvi. He'll be streaming from 8:30p to 11:30p, and that is that's UTC time. So if you want to know what that is in your time, we got the conversions at the bottom. So just, you know, grab your conversion, apply that math to that time, and you'll know exactly when it's going to be at your time. And if you ever want to see this image right here, we have it in the Discord in the same channel that you see. You get the going live notifications for any of us when we go live. Let me get the exact name of that channel really quick. It is Strange Planet Live. So if you guys check out that, you should be able to see the schedule anytime. And check out that channel for just notifications when we're live. If there's a post in there about one of us being live, then we are indeed live, because all the posts get deleted as soon as we go offline. So just keep that in mind. It could be a great place to, you know, remember to jump in if you're hanging out in Discord. We are all welcome for community nights. I'm shy sometimes and just lurk, so if that's your comfort level, you can still participate. Exactly. That's a good note there, Stella. When it comes to community night, if anybody is interested, we do like to make sure that everybody can participate at whatever comfort level that they are most comfortable with. So that includes, you can be completely silent, and you can just type in our muted chat room, and we'll all be, or at least a few of us, will try to make sure that we read it and make sure that you're a part of the conversation. If you want, you share your mic. If you want, you can share your webcam as well. It's all up to you. So we want you to participate at whatever level of comfort you have. You know, if you just want to lurk and see what a community night's like, you don't have to say anything at all. That is totally fine. We've had people do that before, and it goes swimmingly. So don't be afraid to do that. All right, guys. Well, that's all we got for tonight, though. So how about we go ahead and jump on into Papa's stream? He's actually got a kind of a special stream going on his Thursdays now. He's doing a sub special stream for his because he reached a sub goal. And how that works for him is he's playing some Metal Gear Solid 3, and I believe he's using some cosplay as well. So I'm pretty excited to see that myself because I've only heard about it. So let's see here. I'm double checking that he's on. Okay, he is on. Okay, so cool. So we're ready to raid him. Just want to make sure. Hey, good night to you as well, Stella, and to everybody else in the chat. Hope you guys have a good night. Give me a second. We'll start up that raid. And I'll say goodnight proper. There we go. Here's the raid message in case anybody wants to. You can copy and paste those messages. That first one is for subs because it's got sub emotes. The second one is for followers because it just uses standard emotes. But either one, I'm sure Papa will be happy to receive. So I'm going to start that raid. There we go, starting that raid. Okay, guys, let's go hang out with Papa playing some Metal Gear Solid 3. But yeah, once again, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. I really hope you guys enjoyed the story. I hope you enjoyed the voices and all that stuff. I know it's a great amount of fun for me, so we're going to be doing this every Thursday for just the foreseeable future. So I hope you guys come back again next Thursday, if not tomorrow, when we play some Cyberpunk, huh? All right, guys, so until I see you guys next time, stay happy, stay healthy. I love you all, and I will see you tomorrow for some Cyberpunk 2077. We'll see you later. Bye-bye. Goodbye. Goodbye. And the raiders are off. All right, and now we stop the stream. So long.